Okay, welcome. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to your Tuesday evening. Hope everyone is well. Sorry, I'm clicking buttons. I'm pulling levers, what do you want to call them? I don't know, right? And getting things set up. We're gonna do some drama slop today. Okay. Some of you may not like it, but I don't usually do drama slop, but I'm gonna indulge a little bit because I think it speaks to a few really core concepts about how we operate in this space and proper etiquette in this space, and also ideas behind freedom of speech, liberalism in general, and how those interact with us in these circles, for lack of a better term. I have some thoughts, and I wanted to share it with you. But first, for those of you who may not know what I'm talking about, let me kind of give you a bit of an overview as I understand it. And I got some people coming on that can explain a little bit better than I can, because I only tangentially follow the drama, right? But from a layman's perspective, from a WIC perspective, okay, this is the drama as I see it. And if it's wrong, we're going to be researching today, and we're going to be corrected if it is incorrect. And if you have opinions on this, this is a call-in show. So you're free to call in and give me your opinion and your thoughts on the matter. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the recent guest on the Live and Learn show and the idea of liberalism and what that means. So, a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. And I thank you, dear viewer, for choosing to spend a couple hours with me tonight covering this and talking about this and giving your thoughts and your opinions on all of this. You guys matter to me, and what you think matters. Well, yeah, Zero Fucks, the Rashad guy. That's what I'm talking about. He used to come on my panels. He doesn't anymore. I think he blocked me. So I don't know if that's covering my bias here. Like, I don't know if that's like influencing how I saw this. And it might be, so keep that in mind when I give my take here. But I guess if you want to talk about that first, we can. A lot of people think that the enemy, such as it is in this fight we're having, is MAGA. And that's only partially true. Okay. MAGA is probably the most powerful faction of the side we're fighting right now. But that won't always be true. And that doesn't mean that the less powerful factions on the side we're fighting right now are meaningless or people that we can't address. Okay. So you have two teams. Kind of simplify it a bit. Okay. You have liberals. I think the Democrats are by and large liberals right now, right? The Democratic establishment is liberals. You have never Trumpers who are liberals. There's a lot of people who might hold their nose and vote for Trump that might be liberal too, right? And we're going to describe what a liberal is in a second, but let me get this out, okay? Then you have illiberals, okay? MAGA are illiberal as a movement. They don't believe in equality under the law. They don't believe in certain liberal principles, and they don't follow these principles, right? They break these principles as a matter of course. But they aren't the only people on that side. And I think that watching the Live and Learn episode and seeing some of Rashad's statements, and I wish I had clips prepared, but I don't for this because this was just an aside, right, that I wanted to talk about. I don't want to delve too deep into it. But saying that if a judge rules against what we want, that we should remove that judge is a deeply illiberal concept. Now, there are people and I think Destiny might say this too, right? And this is an issue I have with Destiny. And if you watch my show, you know I have this issue with Destiny, is that things have crossed the Rubicon. We've gotten to a point where liberalism cannot fight, right? Cannot fight the enemy anymore. And so we have to start using the tools of the enemy in order to beat them, right? So if they are going to ignore the law, then we also must ignore the law, or we cannot compete and we cannot win. I reject this framing and I reject this concept. And I think that if we become illiberal in order to protect liberalism, we shall not protect liberalism. That is one of the tricks the enemy is using, right, to get us to abandon our liberal principles. If we have to become MAGA to beat MAGA, that's a fail state. Now, I don't think that that's true. I don't think that we have to do that. In fact, to the extent that we act illiberal, it makes it harder for the populace, for the electorate, to make a clear distinction between liberals, the Democrats, and MAGA, right? And I think that this is one reason I decry a lot of tankies, a lot of progressives, a lot of the far left, is because they make too often this false distinction that Democrats and Republicans, Democrats and MAGA, are the same. They're the same. They act in the same ways. They're the uniparty, right? You hear that term thrown around a lot. They're all just war hawks and all these things, right? And they try to make sure that it's very hard to tell the difference between a Democrat and a MAGA guy, okay? This hurts us electorally. It makes it harder for the voter, the uninformed masses, if you will, to see a real difference because they hear all this noise that there's not a real difference. I think that by acting illiberal and by acting like MAGA, people like Rashad and to some extent Destiny, right, do the same thing. They are also hurting Democrats by making it harder for people to tell the difference between these two groups. And yes, I understand, dear viewer, right? I understand that there are magnificent differences between someone like Destiny and Trump. There are, right? If it's a Destiny versus Trump, I've heard vote Destiny 20 times without blinking, okay? But we have to recognize that there are a mass of people out there who only tangentially pay attention to these things, who are only absorbing these things on the side, right? And how these things affect them are much different than how they affect us, the people who are here, the people who are ready. But that aside, and trust me, this matters, okay? We're going to be talking about the little drama you guys have seen on Twitter, on all my feeds, of Pisco and his chat, right? And some of the accusations that have been made against Pisco and his lack of moderation for his chat and all these things. So I'm going to bring on one of my guests, and he's kind of going to explain the issues to me, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? And if you have thoughts, we're going to bring you on. We're going to start opening up to other callers after we get that out of the way. But thank you all for being here, and we're going to get into it. Let's bring on my guest, the drama translator, okay? Oh, give me a second.
Hey.
Hold on. You are live. Stormwolf drama translator, okay? You are much more involved, okay, in all of the slop than I am. And I wanted to have you on to talk about the issues at hand, the accusations being made, and kind of give us, rather than give your opinion at this point, I just wanted to get kind of like a facts of the matter. Like, what are the facts of the matter? What is actually being claimed? What is being accused? Who's doing the accusing? And can you kind of give us like a rundown of this whole situation? Please, go ahead.
So there's two different kind of avenues going on. There's the more like politics focused one, and there's more like drama and streaming moderating one. I think the moderating the chat one has been the main big one of recent. Destiny and Hutch seem very critical of Pisco because they feel his chat is engaging in really poor faith, like bad faith, and really hostile criticisms towards like people Pisco are not even just like allied with, but seemingly friends, right? They brought Destiny brought up like a loner box example, and he asked Pisco the question of like, do you think this is criticisms that you think are reasonable to be making of loner box, like calling him a genocide supporter or saying he laughed at Palestinian children? And the critique seems to be that Pisco needs to do a better job moderating his chat to better align with what he views as friends. Pisco's response, he has two, and they're mainly directed at Destiny, but also Hutch. That one, like a lot of this moderation seems very difficult because it seems like we're shutting down discourse. He talks about this like, yes, they might be misrepresentations of positions, but should we not engage with those misrepresentations? And if you want me to have like an ideologically aligned chat, the other critique seems to be one about Destiny saying when people ask you to moderate your chat in the past, you would say, well, like you would tell them like no, and it seemed like those were a little bit more harsh. So it feels weird that you're coming to me now. I think that's the more like drama essence of this.
I understand that. I think that that's, from what I've seen, a fairly accurate representation. I did ask the people involved to make sure that I wasn't like straw manning them. Destiny got back to me. Pisco hasn't got back to me. So keep in mind, with Pisco at least, these might be misrepresentations, but they're my best guess of what's going on, right? Based on my interpretation. He's free to correct the record and get back to me at any point. So we'll see, right? But I do think that you are very correct when one of the responses that Pisco has, and I think that it's valid, to be clear. The hypocrisy, right, of Destiny like demanding, or well, again, I talked to Destiny, and Destiny's not, to be clear, Destiny says he's not demanding that moderation happen. Okay.
I I as a fan of Destiny, I also disagree with that. I think Destiny might not be trying to do that, but the messaging seems to be very clear. Like, well, there seems to be a lot of moralizing at some points in the conversation about like these are your friends, and it's weird you're allowing these messages to be here if they're not things you agree with. Which the
What
implication seems to be some level of moderation.
what he is saying is that if you want your stream, your community, and you to be seen differently than it is, then yes, you do need to moderate. But he's pretty neutral on whether or not that's the case. I guess the question I would ask you is, what is your view of the Pisco community, Piscord, or however you want to say it? I don't even know what they call themselves, right?
Yeah, as someone who's not super involved and also has viewed it more from Destiny side, but has tried to like learn a little bit more over the few days. I will say it seems like a pretty common consensus that Peace Coast community can be really hostile towards, especially a lot of live and learn guests. It does feel like some of it is coming from a lot of anti-fan movements, like people have been seemingly collecting in Peace Coast Discord server after the whole drama with Destiny. But it also feels like that might be something Peace Coast okay with because it has different points of view. I do think there needs to be some level of moderation. There was like doxing, there was kind of like doxing messages happening, and like there's also just really hostile messages towards a lot of people that
Hold
are
on.
like
Surely,
essentially
surely
Pisco's
that was
friends.
moderated though, right? Like if someone's posting a
I,
docs, they moderated it.
I'm my understanding is apparently it got dealt with and after the fact, but wasn't dealt with immediately. But I don't want to quote that. I couldn't find the screenshot again when I was looking
Okay,
for it.
well,
So
if it
could be,
took them a minute, I mean, fair. Like,
yeah.
chat
But I
scrolls a
think the
lot. Look,
issue,
I won't hide my
yeah,
power level here. I
yeah.
won't hide the ball. I think it's cringe for one creator to pressure another creator to moderate their chat in a different way. I think that's cringe. I think that's aura
I
loss. I
I
think that's
I kind of agree.
something that you should not do. I think it's bad etiquette. I think that trying to hold another creator and saying your community needs to be the way I run my community. Come on, what are we doing here? I say this because that's what a lot of people have always done to me, right? I remember people came after me because I would have Destiny on and I didn't ban him. And it's ironically, a lot of the same people who are defending Pisco now were attacking me because I refused to ban Destiny and moderate my chat, right? And I have too many
I mean, remember what
unhinged right
happened?
wingers that I allow to say stuff. So I just,
We had
for me,
the
it's just
after the Drew
all
Pablo
wild.
panel.
Go ahead, please.
After the Drew Pavlo panel, we had Soypill come on and talk about how you should deal with Drew Pavlo, right? And like
Yeah.
I think it's a very common critique that gets made, but I think I agree with you. At the very least, I think there'd be a problem with how Pisco's friends are being treated on stream. But if it is an issue of like personal friendship and how people feel about that, that should maybe be handled in private. I think going on stream to be like you should moderate your chat a little bit better is very. And there felt like a lot of moralizing in the conversation with Destiny and Pisco at time.
When you
Sides
say
of like
moralizing, what do you mean?
I feel like sometimes Destiny would be like, if Destiny kept invoking stuff about like Pisco being Pisco's friends and be like, well, if you care about your friends, like for example, when I had people in my chat calling you a fake lawyer or like with other people, I would like handle it because I didn't agree with it. It sometimes felt like he was trying to moralize it a little bit. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe it wasn't his intention. Maybe he was just trying to point out like, look, it does feel like these people are your friends, and it's weird that your chat seems to be so disconnected from where you are. Maybe that was the critique, but it felt like sometimes there was a level of pressure being applied that I think if this is the central critique, maybe it should be handled in private.
Here's the issue I have with this kind of push. Surely, and again, I'm at a disadvantage since I don't watch these streams religiously. I only tune in rare occasion and when I'm researching for something. So it's hard to get an idea of the general vibe, and it's hard to have specific examples, or hard to say that there are no specific examples of this thing. And if there are, please direct me to them. Are there examples of Pisco when someone makes a mean or unfair comment about one of the guests, whether it be Hutch or whether it be or one of the co-hosts or one of the guests, whether it be Hutch or whether it be Lonerbox or whether it be any of these other people, where Pisco stops and says, "Hey, just so you guys know, like I'll let you say it, but I don't agree with it. And I think it's unhinged for you to say this." Are there any examples of him doing this?
I I don't know if it happens in isolation. I'm also not the biggest Pisco watcher, but from what I've seen, it usually happens when he's prompted by someone on stream about it. From my understanding of what I've seen of Pisco, especially when he's talking to other people, he isn't always super focused on chat, which is also fair to some extent. Sometimes that's like a
Chatters are
fair,
lesser.
like
That's true.
he's
All of you
very,
chatters, just to let you
he's
know,
also very,
you are less important than the people who are on my stream. Just FYI. But go
well,
ahead.
he's also very debatey, right? Pisco likes to debate a lot. And I feel like in those debates, and I feel similar, like you can have very tunnel vision on trying to have the argument and less focus on your chat, which is why the question is if this is something that Pisco wants to regulate, it probably would need to follow moderation, right? But then the question is like, how much should we be pushing for him to do it as much as it is like, these are the concerns. If you want to deal with it, you should do it. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like the push for like, you need to moderate your chat is a little bit different than here's an issue we've noticed. It might not be an issue to you, but we're just raising it with you, right?
And that's what I'm trying to kind of suss out. And this is something that I'm not sure I know the answer to. And I hopefully by when people call in, and I see you guys in the backstage. We're gonna pull you in a second with us, right? To give your thoughts. So if you want to call in and have an opinion on the matter, you know what? I should give the link in chat. Give me a second. But as I'm giving the link, I'm trying to figure out how much of this is, hey, this is an issue that you need to do something about, such as we are advocating that you ban these people or you time these people out or that you do this more, as opposed to them simply saying, hey, this is kind of an issue and you should probably address it in some way, right? Do you understand the difference between those two statements?
Yeah, and I think it's a very important difference. I think Destiny, at least from what he's telling you, seems to be trying to say that he's doing the second, but it might be coming across like the first, where he's saying, hey, I think this is an issue, and if this is something you agree with, you need to deal with it. But I think sometimes it's coming off as this is an issue and you need to deal with it rather than. But I think Destiny would say sometimes maybe you don't care about this, but I think and I think he is trying to say that second issue. But I think he's coming across also because of the history between Destiny and Pisco, especially. I think it it's getting a lot more heated just because they have a very contentious relationship right now after the past like year. You've had them on the panel together. You've seen that.
Yes.
Um, I think that's also getting in the way where it's feeling a lot more hostile from both ends.
Okay,
Also because
here's
Destiny has like a very vested stake in it because there's people in his chat that are very hostile towards him as well, right? There's the people who are in his chat who are like talking about his drama and a lot of personal shit that he's not a huge fan of. So I wouldn't be shocked if that's getting in the way of some of it.
fair enough. Here, we're going to watch a clip together. Just
Sure.
sent to me. Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it is. You got it up? You watching? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch it. It's
Hmm.
not too long.
You were
Oh,
a
hold on.
fake lawyer. If people
Let me.
were
This is from a conversation with Destiny and Pisco about the conversation with Pisco and Hutch, and they kind of go over and over it. And there's a disagreement here, and we're gonna watch it. Okay.
if people were getting personal, saying you were a fake lawyer, like the random attacks like that, even for Lycan and Aaron, saying things like Lycan's opinions are influenced by Aaron, I would generally clamp down on people like that in my community because I thought that was a bad way to treat somebody that was on my stream.
The pushback, I guess, from the people about how Destiny is being a hypocrite. This is the claim. Okay. Boy, earlier, hold on.
Can we go back? It might have been.
Oh no, Oregon Ink. Sorry, it
Oh.
looked like Ogre Boy had just like a quick glance. I was like, are they searching what Ogre Boy is saying in Destiny's chat? That would have been funny. But anyway, sorry. There is some relevance, I guess you would say, or there's some there to calling this like a bit of hypocrisy, right?
Yeah. I guess here's what I'll say. As a Destiny fan, I can speak a little bit more to the Pisco, like how Pisco is viewed in his community. They definitely have a very hostile view of him. I don't think anyone would disagree from the Destiny community.
Sure.
I also do know that Destiny will go out and say, I don't think he's a secret tanky. I think it's people shouldn't, and like he does
Yeah,
get, he
and he
will
told me
sometimes
to be
defend
clear.
them,
To be
defend
clear, when I
Pisco.
asked
Yeah.
Destiny, like, do you think that he's like secretly trying to cozy up to Hassan? He said, no, I don't believe that. So
Yeah. And like as a Destiny fan, when Pisco hate is brought up, if he sees it, he usually says like, depending on the context, he might say that like Pisco's being too friendly. He might make criticism about how Pisco argues. But when people make like personal attacks at Pisco about like, oh, he should stop streaming or whatever, or when they try to call him a secret tanky, he'll usually like he'll usually correct that. But I will agree that like he's also very critical of Pisco, and he's very and his chat definitely has picked up on that like criticism, and like of course some people are taking it to things that he wouldn't agree with, but it's still coming up, and they still definitely have a very hostile view. There's the whole yes or no meme that persists throughout Destiny's community now that's infected a lot of other communities as well. You know.
thank you, No Cal Mike, for the 33 months of Prime sub. That's wild that you've been here that long. That's almost 3 years. That's insane. I guess the question I have, and I'm going to ask this, and I'm going to bring on callers, right? And so the question I have to keep in mind is, does criticizing someone's political views, calling you a tanky and things like that, is that the same level as some of the accusations? Like, I'll bring up another thing. Just give me 1 second. From the other side, and I'll just give you one example. And there's more, right? But
Yeah.
hold on, screenshot here. Do. Why isn't it coming up? Hold on.
If you want, I have your stream open, so I could always check it out on there if that's easier.
No, I'm
Once it
just
loads, of course.
trying to look at the. Oh, it usually lets me share my Discord screen here, but it's not doing that. Oh, you know what? Here's a better way. Yeah, I'll just do it on my stream. I don't know why
Yeah.
it's not allowing me.
I'll let you know when it's caught up. Okay, yeah, I see it now.
No, that's not it. I don't know why
Oh.
it's doing this. Stop doing this. Hold on. Okay.
I guess I can
Here we
also.
go.
I think I know these types of. Oh, there we go. Got it.
Here we go. Tiff Hutchinson 69 saying Hutch abused his dying sister over and over again. And there's other screenshots of this, right? Of just going off about how they're rapists,
Yeah.
that they're love to kill Palestinians and all these things. Do we think that these are equivalent things? Remember all the screenshots we saw, right, earlier of Pisco's a tanky cock sleeve, Pisco loves tanky com, all that shit. Is that similar or equivalent to things like Hutch abuses his dying sister?
So I would say the dying sister comment is like really unhinged. I don't know if I would compare these two. I think what it's more similar to is what Destiny was critiquing about the way that Loner Box was getting treated in Hutch's chat, which I have some of the quotes here. I don't have screenshots, but like I have from the transcript, and it was stuff like I said, like him laughing at dying children or whatever and stuff like that. I think that's more equivalent because they're massive misrepresentations of positions that I think you have to be a little bit dishonest for doing. I think you could maybe say Pisco might be like being a little bit too friendly towards tankies and sometimes letting a lot of the shit slide. But to say he is a secret tanky and that he's like a cock sleep, it feels like some of those are going from like legitimate criticisms to personal attacks. I think that's the main critique that Destiny's trying to make there, right? That like these criticisms aren't legitimate criticisms. They seem to be based more in like being like kind of like malicious and bad faith. And if that's the standard, then it does seem that like those critiques are at least at a similar level.
Yeah.
I think the different.
Let's bring on some
difference,
callers, and we'll see what they have to say and their opinions on these things, okay? And I'll try to get the order you guys showed up, but if I mess up, please forgive me, okay? Hello, you're live.
Oh boy, I'm the first one you pulled in. I want to rant about Pisco and Soy Pill and how they treated Hutch during that live and learn.
Okay, so just to be clear, you are agreeing at least in part with Destiny's criticisms of the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Which live and learn was it? Which live and learn? There's been a lot.
The one with what the fuck was his name? Jeffrey? The
guy
one that
like
we're talking about right now.
In the middle
the one that led to the Destiny call. That one. Yes, that one. The one where it was the comparison between Jeffrey Epstein and Hassan and the use of lesser of two evils, damage control. I think that whether Pisco realized it or not, he was trying to attack and humiliate Hutch with that. So think about rhetorical tools and like why do we use like lesser of two evils? Well, my thinking is that Democrats might want to use it because it's a very large party. Some people might care about certain positions more than other positions. And thus, if you have a candidate that might not run on your pet issue, it might be very hard to rally your base in order to vote for whoever might be the primary candidate. So this happened in the 2024 election, where you had a lot of these leftists who cared a lot about Palestine, but because they cared so much about it, they refused to vote for Kamala, and they decided just not to participate at all. Would you guys agree with this?
Yeah. Can I ask you about your premise, though, right? Your premise is that you think that Pisco was attacking Hutch with that question, right? Is that a
Yes,
fair
specifically
representation
when
of
it
your-
came to Hassan versus JD Vance and Hassan versus Epstein.
Yes. I guess the question is, why is that not okay? If Pisco wanted to attack Hassan's position, or not Hassan, if they start with H, okay? If Pisco wanted to attack Hutch's position, why isn't he allowed to do so?
Because for one, he's misusing the rhetorical device. So instead of using it in order to rally to whatever the Democratic primary is going to be, they're using all he's really doing is just humiliating Hutch by saying either I would rather vote for JD Vance over Hassan, or saying I would rather vote for Hassan over JD Vance. No matter what he says in that situation, it's going to be humiliating and clipped out of context for him. Like there's just no good answer to that.
Well,
So I
hold on.
guess
The
the
proper
question is-
response. The proper response is just to ask him, okay, who you voting for, Netanyahu or Jeffrey Epstein? And Pisco can't say Netanyahu in that situation. He just can't. So,
But then Pisco's going to go into his whole retarded thing of why are you answering the question, Hutch? Yes or no?
yeah, but the
Like,
clip's already got.
If he doesn't engage with the
think this-
question, which he didn't try to, he said he would Minecraft himself. Then he's just going to get pushed on that. And I see no reason to actually like push him as hard as he did on that, except to try to humiliate him. I mean, I see no other reason to.
I guess I can steel man Pisco a little bit
Go
here.
ahead.
I think Pisco's point with that question was, look, there might be some level of like moral character that a candidate can reach where eventually we're gonna say that it might be worth it to have someone who's slightly more illiberal or someone who's illiberal over like the moral fiber of like Epstein. And well, you said the thing about not like where it's like Epstein.
Well,
Not
hold
gonna
on,
be a
just
primary
real
candidate.
quick, just Stormwolf. Like the idea is, he's saying that people can hold to a principle, and if the principle is violated by both parties, there might be certain extremities where we just don't vote at all. I disagree with the concept, but I understand it, right? And that's trying to illustrate that, as I understand it. It's trying to illustrate,
I
like,
think Pisco's
here's a situation. It's like what I asked Soypill when he was on my show. I asked Soypill, would you vote for Trump or would you vote for Biden if he went and came in and broke into your house and raped your entire family? Would you still vote for Biden in that case? And he said yes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of silly to me. It's a little wild.
But the problem is that by making that comparison, no matter what, it just sounds bad for him just to say yeah. Like technically it is like you could make a technical answer of maybe technically JD Vance is correct or maybe Hassan is correct. But the mere fact that he's required to answer that question is just going to do harm no matter what. So there's some questions when your goal is to like rally your base and probably not giving ammunition to people who want to attack you. There's probably just some questions better left unsaid. Like if I can be edgy for a moment, let's say someone was in a debate about should we give like AI CP to predators if it reduced their chances of like molesting children, right? The correct answer might be that you're supposed to give out the AI CP, but the mere fact that you're engaging with the question, like whether you answer one way or another, is just going to sound bad overall.
Okay,
so it's probably
this is
best not to
coward
engage
shit.
in that question
This is
whatsoever.
coward shit, dude. Okay, it is. It's coward shit. If you're given a question,
I think
answer the question.
I think the better argument for the why that question might have been deceptive is one, that I think Pisco kind of knew what Hutch would answer, but secondly, Pisco also knew that Hutch couldn't say the Hassan answer because, well, that looks really bad. He couldn't say the third party answer because he's been critiquing the third party, and anything that like is about Epstein, if you were to ask him what are his policies, also sounds really bad. The better critique is no answer really gets him out of like the getting endlessly clipped answer. I will say though, Hutch did say that he wasn't super concerned about being clipped online. He doesn't check for mentions. So I don't know if we can use that defense as well, because Hutch seemed to say he didn't really care about that either.
I guess my whole thing, and I'll let you respond, North. And we gotta get more people on because there's been people waiting and stuff like that. But I do wanna thank you for calling in. I guess my whole thing is, if you're given an unfair question like that, or what you feel is an unfair question like that, answer the question, but then describe why it's unfair. I think that's the best way to go forward with these things. Now,
But
here's
the problem is
thing.
when you're getting constantly attacked, sometimes you might not
That's
be
part
able
of
to
the
think
job,
about
man.
this
You're
in,
gonna
like, in
get
the moment.
constantly attacked as a content creator. That you just have to be able to deal
And
with that.
again, Hutch did say that it wasn't something he was really thinking of. Now maybe he was lying, but I feel like if we're just going off what he said, and that call he said it wasn't something he was considering.
But does that even matter? Like if Pisco's coming at him in what could be considered malicious, then what Hutch really thinks about it shouldn't fully matter in that
So
situation.
just to be clear,
like you
just
can,
so I
like
know
in
what
an
you're
abusive
saying here.
situation, someone might think that
Yeah,
like the
I understand.
abuser is like.
I just want to ask you
the
directly.
right.
I want to ask you directly. Do you think that Pisco is being malicious on purpose towards Hutch and towards Hutch? Do you think?
No, I don't think he's being malicious, but I do think he's being abusive.
Interesting. Okay, abusive. You think it's an abusive relationship?
I wouldn't. In a way, yeah. The whole like, oh, you're my boy, right? Like that whole thing at the end. It's kind of like feels kind of weird to me.
I think
like,
the better way.
I just
yeah, go on.
If someone treated me like the way that Pisco treats Hutch, I would, or maybe I might not be able to recognize it myself, but if someone else was able to recognize that relationship, I would want them to like warn me about it.
I don't know if I'd use the word abusive. It's a little bit strong. I might say like Pisco is being unfair. I think that's a better way to say it, or like being inconsiderate or something like that. I don't know. I think abusive is a little bit too strong.
I think he was looking for a win. He was looking for an own.
Sure.
When I think that the whole point of the podcast should be about how are libs supposed to come together in order to make sure the Democrats win.
I think this is just a difference in what the podcast is about type of deal. And I think that you see the podcast differently than Pisco might. But thank you for calling in, North.
Maybe.
I do appreciate you. I'm going to let you go.
All right.
Okay, $5 from Alish to say, the difference between a hypothetical involving Hassan Epstein and Biden-Trump is that Hassan has a community. Basically, that was a rallying cry. And then Manny to the Max says, YouTube chat, best chat, fuck Twitch. Well, I love all my chats equally, but I love the one who gives me more money more, frankly. Okay, let's bring in the next
That's the
guy.
only motivation in life, right, Wick? Money.
Not the only motivation, but it's a big one. Vishy, what's up?
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi.
Okay, let's talk about moderation.
Go ahead.
And I think Ogre Boy is stupid. Okay, so when we talk about moderation,
What was that? Hold on. What was that?
Wait, what's up?
We're not talking about Ogre Boy today. We're talking about Hutch and Pisco and Destiny and all that.
No, he represents the problem here. Okay.
Well, explain. Elaborate.
When we talk about moderation, we see a whole thing about Pisco's lack of moderation in his chat, which is why he's been adding new rules after that late night conversation, right? What we're seeing is people getting banned in other chats, and then they go to Pisco's chat to fester and continue that same behavior because they know it's not going to get punished. Let's talk about...
Okay, what behavior are you referring to specifically?
Snark, whatever, like snark, tankyism, we could say just bad faith, anything that just kind of festers up, stuff that is not representative of the streamer. Okay, so I would say that the chat that Pisco has is not representative of him. It's just weird that it gets allowed to be continued. So let's say Ogre Boy. Ogre Boy is banned from Hutch's chat because all he would do is basically be a doobie and be in there and basically just snark, right? And then after a while, he got banned because, you know, the conversations went nowhere. Basically goes to Pisco's chat and snarks Hutch through Pisco's chat because he knows it'll be fine. You see a lot of people that we ban from Hutch's chat go straight to Pisco's chat and continue the same behavior, and it goes unpunished. We see Substance, that fuck, right? You know Substance, or maybe the one
I know who he is, yes.
Literally in Pisco's like YouTube chat saying like Hutch is mentally disabled and sending fucking severed cow heads to brown people because they disagree online.
Yeah.
And he's fine to just be there because we know he's not going to get punished all the time, right? Like he has a lot of mods.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Can I ask a quick question before we continue, Wick? I just have a quick question, quick clarification. Because we were talking about this earlier. When you say snark, what do you mean?
Okay, the way I define snark is just fucking like hater behavior that's just like bad faith, will lie and stuff. Like the way I think of it is if you're Ogre Boy in someone's chat, just tweeting at Hutch 24/7 because you know he wants attention and he's kind of like obsessed and will say shit. Or Rose was 17 is the
So-
definition of snark because he named his fucking name after just to like snark Destiny.
Just real quick, Ogre Boy's in chat. You want me to bring him on so you can confront him real quick?
Yeah, bring him in. I don't give a
Okay,
shit.
let's do it. But I have a quick question before we let Ogre Boy go here. And my question is this: Ogre Boy and all these people are in my chat sometimes. I don't ban them and I don't punish them. Why am I not getting the same pushback that Pisco is?
Because you are not part of a live and learn or a part of a group, and the way you set your stream to be is like this cesspool. Like you have the lactoids, the doobies, but it's not a bad thing. I
Sure.
think the way you do it's like, hey, let's just go to the fucking cesspool, which is like Wix chat or whatever, right? And it's not a
Why
bad
are we
thing.
hitting on lactoid?
No, it's you know what I'm saying. The
I know what you're
lactoids,
telling
the
me.
og-
Yeah.
like the every like faction
know.
of
I'm joking.
political, yeah. So I think the way that you are, it's like if you go to a stream where everyone's there, it's like a fucking just battleground. I take yours as a battleground because you do the call-ins. You do everyone there because your whole thing is everyone comes in there, speak your piece, and get destroyed in the battle of ideas or whatever. So it's one of those things, right? But it's funny how everyone, let's say like the Hush, Pisco, DGG, if you get banned in those communities, you go straight to Pisco and continue that behavior there. Why?
Okay.
All right, hold on. No,
Go ahead,
fuck
Ogre,
that.
please.
Right off the jump, first of all, you're completely wrong because I'm a politics nerd first and foremost. That's one. And for
The
two,
fuck does that have to do with something?
huh?
What does you being a politics nerd have to do with shit?
Because I've been paying attention to fucking everybody for longer than the existence of fucking Hutch or any of the times that I've been in his chat, you fucking jackass. Oh, you ain't running right over to Pete. No, the fuck I didn't. I was paying attention to all these motherfuckers to some extent and a bunch of right wingers and shit too. Fucking, I don't just sit there and only pay attention to fucking Hutch. If I did, I'd be having to smack myself in the fucking head with a hammer more often because that'd be the only way that I could put up with his fucking rhetoric and constant fucking dumb shit.
Brother,
So,
you tweet
the
at
idea-
Hutch 24/7 because you watch him and tweet at him hoping that he
Oh,
responds.
no.
You
I'm
go in his
sorry.
chat-
I'm sorry, brother. Listen, first of all, pull your head out of your ass. That's one. Because the idea of me talking about shitty liberals in general, if you see something reflected of yourself in that, or if Hutch sees something reflective of himself in that, that's more of a him problem than a me problem. So,
Brother,
no.
you at him. You at Hutch. It's not seeing it.
I
it's
add a
you
lot of
put Hutch-
fucking people, dumbass.
No, you at Hutch all the time. You watch his stream. You at him. He brings you in sometimes, and then you guys get nowhere, and then he kicks you out, and then you at him some more. That is your
Can I ask
behavior.
Ogre
Well,
Boy?
yeah,
Can I ask
go
Ogre
ahead.
Boy a quick question?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, Ogre Boy, what do you? So you're involved in both chats. What
Ogre's
is your
fine.
read on like Peace? Oh, okay. Yeah. What is your like read on Pisco's chat thing? Because a lot of people think they're unhinged. A lot of people think it's not super well moderated. How do you feel about Pisco's chat? What do you think the vibe is in that chat from your perspective?
The one example that Wick brought up, they shut the fucking side screen down, and then the other thing about the way that they do that podcast, that Restream IO shit is trash, and I hate it. But it's a filter for everybody's chat, and that one particular instance that was happening where they were talking shit about Hutch's family, which is fucked up. The person was hopping between chats. It wasn't just coming from Pisco. As far as the rest, the idea of, well, because that was part of the little drama discussion the other night. People sitting there saying that saying loner box is a genocide denier, and that's terrible, and how could you? Well, if people actually believe that, that's not bad faith, right?
What was that?
If he goes out of his way to try to talk that down in his own content, then obviously any show that he goes on, people are going to be bringing that to the table because that carries that follows behind him like a stink.
Yeah, but
so why would they not bring up the fact that he's a genocide denier?
Just to be clear, so the criticisms that I think Lonerbox has levied isn't just that they're calling him a genocide denier. It's that they're saying stuff like he loves when Palestinian kids die and very crazy kind of shit like that. That's the accusations, at least. Whether it's true or not, that's what's been accused.
Okay, well, at that
you
point,
understood,
right?
just real quick, so I can get my
ahead.
question out, right? You understand
Sure.
the difference between saying, "Hey, I think this guy's denying a genocide," versus, "Hey, this guy loves to kill children." Right? You understand there's a difference there, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I think that, like, while if it was just like, "Hey, we disagree with this guy about Israel-Palestine, we think it's a genocide," he
Do you
doesn't,
think?
he's
Hold
a
on.
genocide denier, that's a
No.
fundamentally different
Hold
thing
on. Be
than
fair.
what's being
Be fair.
criticized.
If it comes down to a topic like that, do you think that people are going to talk about it the way they talk about like the pizza toppings? Like, I really, bro, I really appreciate your point of view, but I think that pineapple on pizza is really disgusting. Why don't we do? No, when it's something like that,
Yeah,
and when
they're going to be
someone
unhinged
has
about
turned
it.
around, and put that much effort into their product to try to constantly push back against any claims whatsoever that Israel's in the wrong, then you're going to piss people off. That's what's going to follow you.
Yeah, but I'm
No,
not
but the
saying. Hold on,
Sorry.
just let me go, Vichy. And I want him to address this real quick. I'm not saying that, like, it doesn't follow that people are probably going to be very passionate about it, probably going to get mean about it, right? That's going to happen. But
Mm-hmm.
and that's, again, I run my show different than Hutch does. I run my show different than Destiny does, and I run my show different than Pisco does. I allow people to be unhinged and stuff in my chat, but isn't that just kind of giving the game away? Is that, yes, these people are being unhinged. So when the claim is that people are being unhinged towards Loanerbox, whether or not you think it's justified that they are unhinged, aren't you just admitting that, yeah, they're being really crazy about it?
I would say for every 10 decent comments, there's probably one fucked up comment for sure. Like, for sure. And maybe that person should have been fucking banned. But you also have to wonder about how much effort is being put into that, and if it's an intentionality, or if it's something that just happens to be happening, right? So on the
What
one
does
hand,
that
if
mean?
it's something,
Like,
Well, no
if,
one's claiming. Well,
No.
let's be clear. No one. I don't think anyone's claiming it's an intentional thing. I think people are saying it's a negligent thing on Pisco. I think that's the broader claim that I've seen, at least from the interactions I was watching.
negligence a really strong word, right? Because if you look at what's probably happening, or what's likely to be happening, or the most charitable thing that could be happening, is that how much like a mod isn't getting paid dick, right? I mean, if this were Hassan, we would be talking about the laughter would be that he doesn't pay his mods and fake socialist and blah blah blah. So the idea of someone needing to sit there and judge each and everything that flies across the screen, and ultimately probably when you just have a thing of like, just don't do terms of service violating shit and keep it there, you're going to end up seeing a lot more loose stuff going across the screen, period. Right? Is that fair?
If you're asking me, yeah, sure. I'd say that, like,
I'm
maybe I
asking
think
fucking
that, like,
anybody.
yeah. I'll respond because I brought up the thing. I will say, I keep hearing this, like, well, moderators are paid shit kind of thing. I don't know if that's your broader point. I do think it's still fair to say, like, from what I've heard and from what creators are saying, again, I don't regularly watch Pisco, so I might have also just been seeing, like, the really bad examples. It does sometimes seem like from Pisco's chat compared to a lot of other creators, it does seem like it's a lot. And I'm not saying Pisco's chat doesn't move fast, but that's also why you have moderators, right? And a couple of the
Okay.
messages that people are
Can I
posting,
ask a
it seems
question
like
because
they're
I don't know?
Hold on,
actually?
let's take
Just
that.
I want to
let's
ask you a
flesh that out.
question, and this will speak to things. And I want to let Vichy go as well, right? But the question to you, Ogre Boy, because you've watched Pisco more than I do.
Ogre's fine.
Does he allow unhinged comments about Hassan and other lefties?
For the most part, as far as other lefties, it would depend. Hassan, sure.
Okay, because if
But
he's
the
allowing
thing I was gonna build on,
he's allowing people to say unhinged shit about everyone, I don't know if that's something that's a problem. Does that make sense?
yeah. And then the other thing I was gonna say to build on the point I was trying to make is that if there's just no like after cleanup or no mod team conversations, or like this isn't really something that a lot of people are putting that much time into, when they turn around and at the end of the day, like I'm starting to do a little bit better now. I've gone from single digits to like low double digits. Not a big deal. Not trying to flex, is what it is. But I finally have some people coming to me after I've given them mod in my channel, and they've been like, "Hey, what are your standards? If these conversations aren't taking place, then yeah, maybe they should be taking place." But if nobody's really that concerned with it, that's I don't really see that in and of itself is a huge deal, because we're talking about, and here's the shocker, are you ready? We're talking about a bunch of fucking grown ass adults that all have their own phone numbers and shit, and have the ability to talk off stream and be very specific about when their fifis get hurt. And that's the element of this that I thought was so fucking childish, is that they wanted to have all this fucking out on light, like live on stream, and turned it
Dude.
into a fucking episode of Days of Our Lives.
Go ahead,
Pisco
Vishy.
literally said, "Let's do it publicly" on Twitter to a lot of people talking about its moderation.
How did that get started, jackass?
Because someone tweeted at him, and he said, "Let's
Because
do
someone
it
tweeted at him.
online."
Because what? Because Destiny made it his fucking problem. A show he's not on.
Wow, colleagues on an
decided
online space. Colleagues on an online space talk about other people's spaces. Sure.
Yeah, guess
whatever.
what?
Okay,
He's not in the
also,
club,
wait,
bro.
wait,
I let
also,
you.
wait,
You went.
I'm
He
you
sorry,
ain't
talked
on
for
the
a while.
damn show.
You talked for a while. You
Let
talked for a while.
Vishy
Okay.
go for a little bit.
One.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay,
sorry.
one, we're talking about, you're talking about how 10 things are normal, one thing's unhinged. I'm sorry, one thing, you can say, hey, maybe I don't agree with Hutch's take on IP. I think he pushes back versus, I don't think you really care if Palestinian children get killed. I don't care if this. I don't really care. He actually is happy it gets killed. They get killed. Two different things. And this is mostly of the attacks on Hutch. On Hutch's chat, we allow good faith attacks, not just, oh, so you don't care that someone dies? What kind of shit is that? Right?
Just to be clear, Vishy, are you a moderator for Hutch?
Yeah.
Okay, just getting that out there in public.
Also,
so
too,
everyone knows.
whenever all those people that say the unhinged shit in the like live and learn chats, you know why they can't say it in Hutch's? Because we ban them the fucking immediately they do that shit. And also, again, the number of mods. Literally, there's a time where YouTube chat, fuck YouTube chat, by the way, that YouTube chat is like unhinged. Hutch says, hey, we need more moderators, and he mods like 2 more people. We've added moderators over time because we see that maybe sometimes
There's a
chat's
slight
getting more
difference in the audience sizes, no?
Pisco has a very
Yes or no?
active community. Yes.
Hey,
But Pisco
yes
has
or
an
no?
active.
Yes or no?
Yeah, I said yes. He has
I
an
get the
active community. He has an active community. Oh, haha. Okay, he has an active community, and then you can add more people. He literally added 2 more people as mods after the whole thing went down. Right? He added Andy and he added Mike. He could have done that a lot before. But why didn't he do it? Because there was more backlash, and finally he's like, all right, let's add more people. Andy
He
has
had
been
put out, my understanding was he put out feelers like a couple of weeks ago, or even like a month or 2 ago, the last time this shit came around, and he didn't get the responses.
from who? His own community?
He was asking for more Destiny fans or Destiny people to come participate.
Dude, who cares about Destiny fans going to his community? He should get his own community to participate.
Well, no, you can't do that. You can't play that fucking card.
You can't get your
This
own community to step
wait,
up on
This
your own.
entirely, hey, hold on. This entirely started because Destiny, sitting on his little island, all on his lonesome, was sitting there watching a bunch of other people that he wishes he could partake in, and wanting to start shit because they're not all decently subservient to Little Lord Fauntleroy sitting in his fucking apartment in Miami.
That's not
Get the
true.
fuck out of here. He
Both
made
Hutch
it
and Loner-
his
Both Hutch
problem.
and Lonerbox
He made it
comments.
his problem.
Both Hutch and Lonerbox made comments to begin with as well. They both expressed concerns of how unhinged the chat was. Now, Destiny did point it out as well, but it wasn't just Destiny was pointing it out, and a lot of people were talking about Hutch and Lonerbox pointing it out. That's also not fair
Hold
to
on,
say it's entirely
what's your
to
name?
Destiny.
Hold on, what's your name?
You
Hey.
call me Rish or Storm. Storm either.
Storm. Okay. Hey, Storm. You expressed some concern with what's in Wix chat. Do you want me to change it?
Sorry,
Dipshit
say that
point
again.
is
You
this,
seem
bro.
to have a just see how easy this is. Watch. You seem to have some issues with some comments in Wix chat. Would you like me to change that? Do you want me to moderate it? Can
Hold
you
on.
just answer?
Just to be real quick, people have been calling
I'm
me
just really confused with
to moderate
Are
my
you saying
chat.
that-
This isn't some
I'm trying to
hypothetical,
get
right?
from you to
Like, this is-
show
people
as a
do this to me all the time.
demonstration
Here,
how
the
fucking
biggest
easy it
thing-
would be.
hold on, my
for you
biggest
to just say
criticism.
yes, I don't like that particular comment right
Yeah,
there.
my biggest
and then that's
criticism-
the process for how you set the tone, right?
My biggest criticism of Pisco in all of this is that he
Loner-
needs to tell everyone who is telling him how to moderate his chat to fuck off.
Yes, actually,
stops.
I never agree with your ass, and this will be the first time.
But he needs to stop playing this game where he's entertaining and making new rules and trying to appease us. I tried to do this back when I was first streaming. It doesn't work. It's a fail. Pick your lane, figure out what you want with your community, and then just tell anyone who wants something different to fuck off. Because they can moderate how they want, and you can moderate how you want. And I think that trying to get someone to moderate their chat in a way that you don't want, or that you would want rather than they want, that's aura loss. You just, it's never going to look good. And so that's my biggest criticism in all this. Now, that said, it's very fair, however, to point out that Pisco's chat is unhinged. It is. That's just
also,
true.
I agree with essentially that like a lot of this does seem to be like people who are Pisco's friends taking issue with how his community is treating them. And that might be something that should be dealt with privately. Be like, hey, this is a concern I'm having. You can address it however you feel. But it also is not fair to say that this isn't how he started by Destiny. Pisco's chat has been observed by multiple people over the past few months to be pretty unhinged. And a lot of people have expressed this independently of Destiny, right? Lonerbox is not a Destiny fan. I think most people know this. And he agreed, like, man, when I was on there, his chat was really hostile and unhinged, and I think it's fair to say.
Well, I mean,
When I was-
give it
when I-
another-
when me and
give it
Tali
another
went
couple
on.
of weeks. Give it another couple of weeks, and if he keeps making overtures, let's see what happens. But
Wait, question,
anyway.
question.
Just
question,
real quick.
don't.
Wait, hold on,
Yeah.
Fishy. When we and Tali went on Live and Learn back in the day, Pisco's chat was unhinged, right, towards us. They're just hostile. Now, again, if they like that, or if Pisco wants that to be the I guess the atmosphere, that's fine, and that's a fair atmosphere to have. Somewhere where you're going to come on the panel, you're going to have your ideas challenged, and you're going to have a back and forth, right, a debate, and all these things. That's fine. But if you want to be something else, like if you want to be known as a space where you're treated kindly and things like that, then yeah, that needs to stop, right?
Also, you keep on saying from outside that this is all because of Destiny, like react. You literally go like 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, just quote tweet Hutch, making sure you can get his fucking attention. Like,
how the fuck
you do it
do
all
I
the time.
quote tweet him,
Also,
jackass? I'm
wait,
blocked.
you can still at them or talk about him. You do it all the goddamn time. You are
How do I
obsessed
get his
with him.
attention? How do I get his attention if I'm blocked?
Oh my lord. Okay, you can still get attention other ways by going to other people's chats, or maybe someone's like, "Hey, Ogre Boy's talking about you." Whatever. Point is,
Okay,
you
that's
talk
his
about him all the
community wanting
goddamn time.
drama, right?
Hassan,
That's
literally
baiting him, right?
Whatever.
His own community.
Bro,
That's you
Hassan,
guys doing that.
Hassan literally reacted to him, and now there's discourse about the Epstein shit, right? I don't know why you're saying this is because of Destiny bringing something up. People react to people, and then they have opinions on it. Pisco and Destiny used to be friends, and now they're probably not.
Who's
but you still talk to each other.
Who's Thinking Monk?
Thinking Monk's
Monk's one of I think an editor or something, or he does Destiny edits. I know that.
Yeah, and that was the person that within moments of D talking about this shit on his stream and having a fit over it, that was the person that added Pisco, and then this whole thing started.
Yeah, okay. So
the fuck you mean? Yeah, okay.
Someone reacted to someone.
Go ahead, Stormwolf, please.
I feel like Hutch talked about this, and then Destiny was covering it as well. And then also, are we going to credit his editor for starting the drama because Destiny was talking about something and then paint?
Do you not understand how communities get weaponized?
Pisco? What are we saying that Destiny directed him? Like, sorry, my sister's trying to bother me. But yeah, go on.
Sisters are crazy, I know.
Do you know how online discourse works? Right, some streamer says something, and then it gets clipped. And then people talk about it, and then it goes to other communities, and then they react to it. I don't points have been made before Destiny that Pisco's chat has been unhinged. They've had moments
like this idea that Pisco's chat is unhinged is not a new conversation. This has been.
But you want to talk about Destiny? They had
is relative.
Yeah, okay, and that's why we're having fucking.
Just real quick, Ogre. I missed that. What did you say?
Unhinged is relative.
I guess
everything's
so.
fucking relative.
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah.
The comment about Hutch abusing his sister or whatever. That I
started off.
Right?
Hold on. If that's your biggest round you have in the chamber, I already told you that was completely fucked up. That should not have happened.
Yeah,
and fuck anybody. Fuck whoever did that.
That goes back to the point about how
we agree. But you're saying unhinged is relative. There's clearly unhinged messages. So I don't know why you're saying unhinged is relative. It sounds like you're trying to deflect from the fact that messages like this are sent when you say something that's unhinged is relative.
Lonerbox is a genocide denier. Is that unhinged to you?
I think it's a very bad faith critique of Lonerbox. But I understand why people have.
Is it unhinged?
I think it's.
Is it
I
unhinged?
don't think it's unhinged.
Okay.
Well,
that's
wrong,
part
but it's
of
not
that.
unhinged.
Was
I don't
part.
think I'd say it's unhinged.
That was part of that conversation the other night.
Wait, genocide denier. Now he loves when people are killed.
Yeah, that one.
That's unhinged.
Yes, but you keep
But
on
that was a very
saying
common. Yeah.
genocide denier is not the only thing. It's them going and saying that they like this. This is what they they don't care that it's happening, right? You could have like this is what keeps on happening. This happens a long time. It happens all the goddamn time.
It happens all the time in the one episode where he shows up.
No. Okay, this happened. Okay.
So people log into Pisco's chat daily and they go, boy, that loner box, he loves when kids die.
Oh my!
You guys are being hyperbolic. That's my point.
We could be talking about
liberal.
Wait, one second. We can talk about liberal. Let's say a liberal is brought up, or the name liberal. You know what happens in fucking Pisco's YouTube chat? Oh, Hutch. He just gets up because they're obsessed because we ban the people, right? So you get Undead Logic, who talks about Hutch all the time because we banned him from his our fucking chat, right? You get Acreal, who talks about Hutch's family.
You're giving names,
and then
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm supposed to know who these people are.
That the names are saying that we have chatters that go from our chat or other chats to Pisco's.
Okay. And guess what?
What do you mean?
They'll end up going to somebody.
They'll
end up going to somebody else's shit too.
Hey, good.
That's called,
why keep them in
internet.
The question is, why keep them in your chat? That's the question about asking.
Why
would you want?
Why is the perception that he's trying to actively keep them there as opposed to logging in, doing a live stream?
Wait, did I say he's trying to
have
and then fucking ending his podcast?
Streamers look at their chat. Are we fucking kidding me? Are you really going to be that dense?
Wait, I'll grant that Pisco probably doesn't look at his chat that much, but the issue is it seems like the moderation team is also somehow failing there, or there's some kind of communication issue where something about the moderation isn't happening properly.
I've already given that there's probably a communication issue at a minimum. Yes.
So I don't understand what the disagreement is here. You seem to agree Pisco's chat can be really unhinged, that many people express frustrations at it, and that if Pisco thinks it's an issue, he should probably deal with it through moderation and have some kind of new communication. So what is the issue here for the Ogre Boy for with this situation?
On the front end, it's just the idea that they did this on fucking camera was pathetic. But on the back end, end, it should have been something that they handled fucking, phone calls and shit. But again, I think you guys are every chat is going to have shitters. That's going to happen. And yeah, they should be pruned. But I think you guys are going hyperbolic to the extent of the existence of the shitters to include all negativity, when some of these people are deserving of negativity and criticism.
Hey, do we ban people that... Okay, so, again, all negativity, we literally said ban the people that say they love genocide, not, hey, they are a genocide denier. Do you see how there's a big difference there?
Sure.
And how one is accepted, one's not? You said all negativity. No one gives a shit about all negativity. We have fucking leftists in our fucking Hutch chat that just go at him every time, and we argue with them, but they're not bad faith and they're not unhinged, so we just allow them to be there.
Yeah, but they better look out for when they finally get told they're on thin ice.
Yeah, they better look out for when they're bad faith. Whoa.
Okay, so is bad faith and negative, those are completely separate things, or what?
Yeah, dude, do you not know how many fucking times chat calls Hutch bald or just goes at him? Like, every single time he brings up ICE, the whole abolish ICE thing he talks about, where he says, I don't think we should abolish ICE as our fucking, as our message, and our entire chat goes at him. It's like a 1v fucking 300, and it's fine because they're not bad faith. You're disagreeing on substantive issues.
Come on, he gets more viewers than that.
Good. Then it's a 1v fucking 400, 1v 700, 1v 1000, and he's going at everyone, and it's fine. You're making my point for me. He goes at this negativity, and it's fine. We have Smaj. We killed all the mods. Not hate him. All the mods go at him and shit. And it's fine because it's substantive. The moment you're like, oh, so you don't care that immigrants are being killed, banned, because that's a fucking difference. You understand the fucking difference?
I'm just saying your collective perception of bad faith isn't really on par with reality.
You don't care. You don't care that immigrants are killed in the streets. What do you mean? How is that?
That's not. I'm not talking. Hold on, dude. Breathe. Calm down. First of all, calm down.
I feel like
I'm chilling.
I think Vish should give you a very specific criticism. And
yes, and I'm talking about the very specific example, but there are broader in scope examples where they wouldn't be. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Hi, Ogre Boy. Hi. Hi, buddy. Hey, how are you, buddy? Hi.
No, listen, no, I'm muting you. Fuck that. You're going to block me on Twitter. I'm muting you here. Hold on.
Have I blocked you on Twitter?
Yeah, why'd you block her? Why, hold on. Why'd you block Ogre Boy on Twitter?
Wait, have I blocked you on Twitter?
Come
Me
on.
to
No,
man.
do with me.
I think he's just scared.
No, if I did, I would have done it like months and months and months ago. It had nothing to do with recent drama. It's just because you're fucking annoying and you're a lefty retard.
Based. No, but back to the
Pretty
point. Do you
simple.
see how you see? But back to your point. Do you see how you said, "Oh, there's disconnect on what's bad faith," and I give you examples of what's allowed and what's not?
Would you not concede that it goes broader in scope than that, and what you guys would consider bad faith? Like in
Okay, do
some
you have any
at least
example?
in some cases, isn't.
Yeah, in some cases we may, like some people just might get on someone's nerves, sure. But do you have any examples of where we call bad faith that's not that got banned? Like any example of it? I'm not gonna try to like fucking like put you on the spot. If you don't, that's whatever. But like if you have
I think
that,
a lot of his backpedaling and trying to reframe things after the fact when he's embraced the language of making modern day deals with segregationists and shit is really stupid and missing the point entirely. And when people try to hold him to that, you guys claim it's bad faith, and then they get banned.
Oh, we have not banned anyone for getting mad at him for the Epstein shit. When all the fucking mods in our chat,
That's not what I said.
Okay,
mad.
can I just
What do you-
ask? I know this
what
is
do
a
you
bit of an
mean?
aside. This is a bit of an aside, but Mantis
That's literally
has
what you
graced
said.
us with
Yeah,
her
sorry,
presence, and I have a question because Mantis had a little bit of a interaction that I want to talk about a little bit with Pisco that might help understand the drama a little bit more. Mantis, did you tell Soypill to kill himself?
Well, that just seems to be how it's being interpreted.
Okay, I got
no,
the tweet
I actually
right
said
here.
I'd kill
Hold on.
about to
myself.
come in, by the way. I was just about to.
Yeah, that's fine. I wanna bring in the tweet and we can just read it. It's on the screen there. I'll just make it big for everyone. So Mantis tweets this out. It's pretty simple. It says it's one thing to go at Pisco for his unhinged chat, and it is. But has anyone seen Soy Pills? Lamau, just a commie, socialist, leftist cesspool of fuckwits. I'd kill myself
Oh, wait, we got
if that
Hutch in the
was the
vetting room,
audience
by the way.
I'd built. Okay.
We got Hutch in the vetting room if you want to bring him in.
I don't see Hutch in the vetting room. Oh, the
He's in
vetting
the
room.
vetting room.
Yeah, we'll bring him.
Okay.
Yeah.
bring him
Yes.
back.
Yes, Wick.
We'll make it a party. Okay, we'll make it a party.
He's hiding. He doesn't want to go backstage.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Hutch.
hello.
How's
Hi,
it going?
Hutch.
Hello. I'm doing a quick little drive-by here, okay?
Okay,
Hutch.
quick drive-by. Give us what you got since you're here quickly.
right.
Yeah.
That's what
Speaking
I'm
of bad-
doing.
if we're going to parse what's bad faith, okay?
Yeah.
Ogre Boy, I want you to steel man my segregationist take.
No, I don't owe you shit. You don't want to have discussions.
Do it.
You don't want to
Excuse me,
have
just steel man
discussions.
the
Hold on.
take.
No, fuck
This
that.
is bad
Fuck
faith,
that.
Ogre
This
Boy.
isn't your stream. Fuck you.
Just steel
You
man
don't
the
want to have
take, bro.
discussions. You want to try to do gotchas at the beginning of our last conversation
It's not a
and not touch
gotcha.
anything that's
It's
on the
not a
screen.
gotcha.
Then fuck off. You don't have.
Not
Bad
a
faith,
gotcha.
Ogre Boy.
You have no
What?
power
Hold
here.
on.
Not a gotcha. I'm asking you. You're saying that you're pushing back against this idea that people are bad faith. You brought up the segregationists. So what was my take?
You gonna go ahead, Hoger? What is his? Can you represent his take? Because I'm gonna be real. I didn't see his take, so tell me about it.
He posted an 11-minute preamble from a YouTube video where he tried to react to Hassan reacting to a clip from him on Lib and Learn, where Prime Kai's hit him with the infamous, would you make arrangements or agreements in 2025 with segregationist Democrats? And Hutch said, yeah, I probably would, and has since doubled down on it. The idea being he wants to reminisce of days of yore during FDR's administration to say that if it wasn't for segregationist Democrats, we wouldn't have gotten good
That's
things.
not it. No, try again. That's
He
not.
is
You know
completely
that's not it.
missing.
Let him
No.
finish. Let him
No.
finish.
He is
Let him finish.
completely
Go ahead.
missing. He's completely missing the fact that the equation that he's trying to harken back to doesn't exist right now, and that he's wanting to recreate the wheel from the wrong end. He wants to create the segregationist Dems or the right-wing Dems in general before you ever have the candidate that is bold enough to offer the FDR package or to get the FDR economic package in the fucking first place.
Okay, Hutch, is that an accurate
Wait, did you-
representation?
No, obviously not. Are you seriously suggesting right now that you
were
think
staring
that
into
my
your
let
lap,
Hutch respond. Hold
talking
on.
about
Let
how
Hutch
much
we let you
power
I
go.
let you
were-
speak.
Let Hutch go.
You
I
were
let you
looking
speak.
into your
I
lap.
let you
Hold on,
speak.
Ogre,
lamenting
Ogre, please,
let you
Ogre,
the
please.
loss of power
I
for the
let you
Democratic
stop.
Party
I
for
let you
not for
speak.
those
I
segregationist
let you
shit.
speak. I let you speak.
Okay, I'm gonna have
Are
to
you
mute
seriously
Ogre.
suggesting?
Okay, go
Are
ahead.
you?
Finish, and then
I
I'll
want
let
to ask
Ogre go.
him.
Okay.
All right, I want to ask him. Are you seriously suggesting that I want to recreate like a segregationist coalition?
Okay, go ahead.
Are you actively trying to do it? Probably not.
What do you mean?
Okay,
Not?
Would you be
all right,
willing to
all
do
right.
it? Probably.
Have you accused
What's
me
this
of wanting
actively thing?
to
What's with this
recreate
actively
a
fucking word?
segregationist coalition? Hold on. Have you accused me of actively wanting to recreate a segregationist coalition?
I don't believe I have. No.
You have, my friend, and you know you have. I don't know why you're retreating at this point. That
not a
is
Even in
bad
the
retreat.
faith.
description you just gave.
That
Wait,
we're
Ogre, in
parsing
the description
through-
you just even in the description you just gave, you were like, he wants to
Yes.
create this, he wants to harken back. You were saying he
Yeah.
wants to.
The
Yes,
reason is
yes.
It
he
was a
wants to
very
reminisce
bad
of
faith
good old days.
description.
Good
There
old
you go.
days means he's happy with it. You
Yes,
dipshit.
I also
You're
said
wel-
he
you're
doesn't
welcome.
understand, implying
You're
that he's a
welcome.
fucking idiot.
You're welcome. That is bad faith. That is an example of bad faith. Thank you. Good night.
Okay, have a great
The
day.
fuck? Hold on. No. If he wants to run off like a bitch,
True
that's fine.
story.
Wait, you literally said you were talking about how bad faith and how we don't know what it is, and then you said, "Yeah, he wants to reminisce on the good old."
Couldn't engage for the first fucking half.
You can go
I'm
cheat the
sorry,
position,
Hey,
by the way, of
You
like
went
me saying
shrill
you're
and
willing
like
to work with
tapered off at
segregation.
the end.
Also,
What was that?
Wick, there is a Maj L in the backstage who is also a Hutch mod, which would be a really good addition to this chat that you should bring in.
Okay. Why not? I do
I
want to
think
get to
that- okay, you can
I do
critique
want to
the
get to
segregation.
Mantis's telling someone to
Oh, yeah,
kill
sure,
themselves
yeah.
thing real quick though.
Yeah, we can go to that then. That's fine.
Yeah, but I want to since Mod what was your name? I'm sorry. Mod
Smudge.
Smudge. Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts here? Go ahead.
I kind of wanted to harken back what Vishy was saying is, I don't exactly head up the mods as they all sort of come to me with, hey, should we ban, should we not ban for stuff like this? I think you got the completely wrong end of the stick. We don't ban like for people disagreeing with Hutch, or even if Hutch says you're on thin ice or anything like that, none of us do it. Why the fuck would we do that? It's funny. We're like,
Oh, I know. You guys, well, that was the point I made earlier, that when people out in the interwebs fucking talk their shit and then you guys bring it back to him, or like you guys had somebody come to my channel, purchase a sub so that you could use my mods in his chat. You guys do that to him. That's not a me problem. If I have an issue with his politics, much in the same way that he constantly talks about Hassan, if I have an issue with Hutch's politics and use him as an example of what I don't think people should be, that's just as fine as anything else, right?
What does that have to do with us banning people that you say is bad faith?
Because brother, I'm going back to like what he just mentioned something that was kind of what we were touching on like 10-15 minutes ago.
That he thin ices people and then we don't ban them. When you say we
No.
thin ice them and then you ban them.
No,
literally
I'm talking about I'm mentioning the fact that he's
no,
trying
he
to
did
he's
say
trying to say that it's funny when people give him a hard time. I'm touching on the fact that you're trying to suggest that, oh no, I tweet, even though I'm blocked. You're trying to get his attention all the time. I'm not trying to get his attention. I'm using him as a bad example. Period. End of sentence.
come on, no. You are obsessed, Ogre Boy. Don't fucking lie about this. You watch him probably more than I do. You watch him more than Vishy does. Do not lie about this. You want his attention. Don't be weird about it. Come on.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Come on. Don't be a child.
Dude, he talks about me like several times a week. The fuck you mean? I don't even
Yeah,
have
he
to.
talks-
Dude, go ahead, finish your statement. Because you're going to
What a
say, how do I
weird
know?
line.
And then I'll tell you.
Yeah, how do you know? Go on.
I have people that fucking ping me in numerous discords.
Bullshit.
That's
No,
one.
you watch him. No. So that's
Also, I
bullshit.
can
So let's go to two.
I have a bookmark for Filmot that looks for my name, and I remark at how fucking often I come out of his mouth.
So
Wait,
to
you
be clear,
have a-
just to be clear, in Ogre Boy's defense, I don't know why I'm saying those words, but fair enough. Whenever anyone talks about me online, I get pinged, right? Like when Rob Noor was talking shit about me on Pisco stream. I wasn't watching Pisco. I wasn't watching Rob Noor. I got a ping and say, hey, did you know that this person's yapping about you right now? I was like, what? And I went over and I stormed over and, we had a little discussion. So I don't think it's necessarily out of the realm of possibility, right? That Ogre Boy here would get pings from people when Hutch talks about him, right? Makes sense?
I think it's possible. I think it's very unlikely.
Okay. Why?
Just like I think it's possible that the moon could crash into the Earth tomorrow.
Okay.
But it doesn't
Holy
mean it's going
shit,
to happen.
you're awesome.
Sorry.
Okay, so let's see here. Food shops tweets about Hutch. Ogre Boy sees it, tweets it. Guys, Hutch needs help. Pings his Discord. Hey, February 16th. Like all like we're not talking about you here. Like he's talking about he adds his entire stream and then you tweet about it. Guys, I think Hutch needs help. Why does it matter to you? He didn't talk about you. But no, you find a Discord everyone at everyone and then you tweet about it. Why? Because you're obsessed with them, right?
Wait, am I not banned in his fucking Discord?
No.
No.
I'm not banned? Well,
No.
first of all, that's good to know. Second of all, someone sent me that fucking screenshot and I laughed my ass off.
Oh, we didn't talk about
And I
we
made a
didn't talk
fucking
about you,
joke
though.
ass tweet about it.
We didn't talk about you though, and you said you do it when you have their name. He didn't talk about you, and you're still tweeting about him.
Okay,
Food shops in. Food shops in.
What do you mean?
What do you
That was your
mean?
whole point.
That was your whole.
Are you fucking
Hold on,
stupid?
hold on.
That was your
First
whole
of all,
point.
no. Shut the fuck up. First of all, the fucking his project is to punch at the left. Period. End of sentence. That's his job. That's his project. That's the thing he thinks he does that's so important, and then he needs to make an example out of that on the fucking daily.
Punching at illiberals. Do you think he's punching at
The
left
left.
or illiberals?
His
Do you think
mouth.
there's a
Out of
distinction?
his mouth comes the left. He needs to punch left.
Sure.
That's his
All right.
project. That's one.
Okay.
Two, the
You
food
went
shop shit. The food shop shit. She posted some goddamn nightmare abomination AI photo of her sitting in fucking Hutch's lap. My response to it was the fucking Hassan reacting to OJ Simpson and getting creeped out and making a bunch of fucking like facial reactions because she's fucking unhinged and psychotic. That's fucking weird. I'm not making AI fucking snuggle session photos of me and any other fucking streamer. That's just fucking beyond bizarre.
So
as far as the Discord thing, he's fucking mocking something, and I'm mocking him in return. If anything, I'm wanting to help him get more motion. I was driving attention to his own fucking tweet. I was trying to do him a favor.
Yeah, you just got to double digits. You said, "Who gives a fuck?"
Okay, can I just point out? You said no. Hold on.
Go ahead, please.
You said you didn't know that you were unbanned in the Discord, right?
Yeah, you guys booted you after his fucking cortisol spiked that last Sunday. You guys fucking booted me, so I figured that was a wrap. That was GG's.
No, we didn't boot you.
I got fucking. I sure as shit did. I got disconnected from the fucking Discord. Yes, I did, and I was fine with it because I thought it was funny.
Hold on. You're saying you got kicked from the Discord. So if I look at the if I look at the audit log right now, am I going to see you being kicked from the Discord?
I was connected 1 minute and disconnected the next. How does that happen if I don't touch the fucking software window, friend?
Disconnected doesn't mean that you got booted from the server. That just means you got disconnected
it's
from the
a
call.
fucking euphemism. Why would I?
Why would I?
No, hold on. No, Ogre Boy, you understand the difference between me taking you out of this call because you're done talking versus me banning you from my Discord. Right? There's a difference here, and we all understand it.
I didn't leave his server. I got fucking booted from it.
The server or the
you're
call?
Not banned. I'm looking at the ban list right now. You're not banned.
Oh my fuck. Okay, no, I definitely hallucinated it.
Now you can go back
when
in the
when
server
the server icon was there 1 minute and gone the fucking next. I guess I fucking made that up.
Sidebar.
Jesus Christ.
Just to change a topic, I want to get back to Mantis.
He can't wait to get back in there now.
Yeah, I want to call.
No, I can definitely wait. I'm good.
I want to make sure that we all can see Mantis. Okay, you're looking at your tweet here. Can you read off your tweet what you said to us, and we can go through it? You see it? Low.
I can't because my phone's shit and I'm gonna be laggy. So you go ahead and read it. I trust you. I'm sure I will correct you if it's wrong.
Sure. It says, it's one thing to go at Pisco for his unhinged chat, and it is, but has anyone seen Soy Pills? Lamau, just a commie, socialist, leftist cesspool of fuckwits. I'd kill myself if that was the audience I'd built. Later on, Pisco, let me see if I can get to it. Pisco says that you are, here is it. Let me see where he says this. Okay, here we go. There's some back and forth, and then Pisco says, I don't know anything about that, but if this kind of snarking behavior with advocating that Soy Pill kill himself is part of it, count me out. Did you tell Soy Pill to kill himself? Like in another venue that I'm not aware of? Mantis? Your time to
The
shine, buddy.
suggestion is that she's saying he
That's
should.
the only thing I've said is that tweet, and I think he just interpreted it.
No,
Wait, I'm right here. Can you not hear
Pisco's
me?
smarter.
Yeah, we can hear you now,
smarter.
but we couldn't hear you before. Go ahead, repeat that.
Wait, can you really not hear me?
No, we can hear you now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Can you hear us? Jesus Christ, the tech.
Okay, there is lag because there's so many people and Discord sucks on my phone. So there's just the one. Yeah, I can. There's just the one tweet. That's it. That's the only thing I said, and I guess he interpreted it to mean that I wanted Soyfill to kill himself. But literally, it is just the literal, exactly what I said. It is, I would kill myself because I don't like leftists, so that's what I would do. I assume Soypill does like leftists because he has them in his audience and he's kind of a progressive. I would put Soypill in the like more left category. So why would he want to kill himself?
I thought
He
Hutch
seems to
was
do like what he wants to do.
No, this
What's
is
wrong with having leftists in your argument? What's wrong with having leftists in your audience?
I think there's like lag or something.
Yeah,
this
I think
is
so.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate.
Okay, what I'll say.
Oh, I just say leftist, but it's usually like the fucking really annoying.
Okay. I think we need to be.
This is why I told you, wait, I can't come on. I'm at work. I can't do this with lag. You guys just hash it.
Okay, so going back to that, Pisco knows what Pisco knows what she meant. This is Pisco doing the fucking bit he did for the first hour and a half or first hour reacting to Hassan and fucking Adam. He knows, I know 99% that he knows what she meant. He just wants to go at people.
Hold on, can I just ask you, Ogre Boy, do you think that she was calling on Pisco, or Soypill, I'm sorry, Soypill to kill himself?
Do I think that's what she's doing? No, but the language is as unhinged as anything else. So why, for a group of people that are mad at him because of the perceived language coming from his community, he's highlighting the fact that like, holy shit, this is on par with anything that I'm getting fucking accused of. Why would you say this? Why would you know?
Well,
it's
no.
dumb.
I mean, Pisco's
You're
not
equating.
Pisco, hold on, just real quick. Pisco's saying that, and he's claiming here that she is advocating that Soypill kill himself, and I'm quoting here, advocating that Soypill kill himself. That clearly did not happen. So people aren't mad that Pisco is getting mad that she said something crazy. They're getting mad at Pisco because he's lying about what's being said. I mean, it's clearly a lie, correct?
I mean,
can we just admit that was a lie?
No, lying is
true.
stretching it. That's
you don't think Pisco knows better?
Well, whoa. What's the stretch about a lie, Ogre Boy? What is a lie? What is a lie?
A lie is something that
Jesus Christ.
You know,
what is a lie? What is the word? Is
not to be true.
Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Okay. I'll say something. Not being serious here, but like on something you addressed, I think Mantis clarified that it was because she thinks that like Soypill wants that community, but she doesn't. And I think with that context, which I think was implied enough in the original tweet, it's very clear what the implication is. Not that if I was in Soypill's position, but rather if I had the community Soypill did.
If you have to have somebody come back on at a later date to clarify and clear up, doesn't that kind of imply that
it was
in and of itself?
No, because
I said it was kind of implied in the tweet.
No, because the "I would kill myself" phrase is literally what he just said. No, there's no other way of taking it. The "I would kill myself if this happened" thing is not calling on that person to kill themselves. No one thinks that. If you do think that you're being bad faith, Pisco was smart. Pisco was smarter, and he knows exactly what that person meant. But he was doing a fucking bit because he knows he's getting a lot of backlash, so he's going to fucking 10 toes down and do the exact same shit.
Okay, so there's viral clips. There's viral clips of fucking people talking about children getting sniped in the head. That immediately are followed up with fucking loner box going right into a nice little grin that people have highlighted and focused on. If you ban those people, you're going to lose them forever. But meanwhile, if there were opportunities, and he didn't take the opportunity, mind you, but if there were opportunities later on to talk about it, maybe had people behind the scenes had a little bit more of like a quicker turnaround on having conversations, you would have been able to address that with your audience and move on. I think again, this is kind of a bigger issue here of like people treating this shit like reality TV and a bunch of men, grown ass men, that have an inability to talk to each other behind the scenes as to why all this shit got to the degree that it did.
Why?
you-
So hold on. You're saying, I just want to clarify here. I might have completely misunderstood you. Boy, it's been known to happen. Are you saying that instead of just banning those people, Loner Box should have had a conversation with them, the people who were like posting
No,
those
no,
clips?
that's not what he's saying.
No.
Okay,
So
fine. Sorry.
that
What he's
stream comes. Hold on. That stream comes and goes. Okay. Boom. Live and learn. Over with. Loner sends Pisco a DM. Hey, that was kind of fucked up. I saw the following things. And now if everybody's content brained and they want to do content all the time, the easiest thing in the fucking world to do would have been, within a couple of days of that, have some kind of conversation about it and flesh that shit out as yappers that they all are. Instead of that, he got in his fucking feelings because the mythos that people have either created for him or he's created for himself continues to follow his ass wherever he goes. So he just walls himself off and is like, well, I don't want to give that any oxygen, as opposed to addressing shit. Period.
Cool.
Can I
So,
be clear
Ogre
here,
Boy,
Ogre Boy? Who said that they should
Ogre's
have
fine.
this debate public? Fine. Okay. Who said that it should be streamed publicly? Where, like, the discussion of it, when Pisco was talking on Twitter about Destiny, talking about some of the stuff in his chat. Who was it that said it should be public?
Immediately, it was a response to people.
No,
from
no.
Destiny's
Answer the question.
community.
Answer the question.
I am, bitch. I
Answer
am.
the
Don't
question.
do that shit. Immediately, it was a direct response to someone openly talking to him from Destiny's community and trying to turn it into a public spectacle. At that point, it was too late.
No, it's not. He could still go privately to Lonerbox, and he could still go privately to those concerned and say, "Hey, someone talked to me about this. Let's talk about it privately." And let's.
What
deal
does
with
that
it."
do?
Why did Pisco?
What does that
Didn't
do?
Pisco invite?
community,
Didn't Pisco
motherfucker?
invite someone to talk first? Pisco still talk about this publicly on stream, and the other guy
What
said
does
like,
that do?
So
"Hey,
in
What does that
defense of
do
Pisco
to a
here, just to
community
be clear,
filled with angry little hornets
okay, just real
that are
quick.
juiced up by their streamer daddy and that want to make this an issue in the QRTs?
The reason there's good reason to have discussions like this public, right? It's because these accusations have been made publicly, and if you're going to have a public accusation, you should probably discuss it publicly. You should also discuss it behind the scenes as well. I agree with that.
So,
but it does need to
let's-
be hashed out both in private and in public. Just in general.
So let's say let's say you have a streamer friend and you guys have a podcast. Like there's 4 people, and one person, one of your friends has a chat that hates you, and then after the stream you text them and say, "Yo, your chat's fucked up." What would the implication be there? This is just like
that they hate him.
no, like if you say, "Yo,
right?
your chat is kind of like going at me all the time. Like this is kind of fucked up." What would that kind of communicate?
My immediate thing, well, I mean, maybe I'm as autistic as fucking Pisco is, because the immediate thing I'm going to do is like, well, what examples, so I know what the boundaries are. What are the boundaries that you don't want to see, and I will correct it.
Oh, sure. Pisco
what's wrong with that?
Pisco didn't do that.
I don't fucking know, because I'm not privy to any sort of behind the scenes shit.
He said publicly to Hutch in the chat with Destiny he didn't do that. What do you mean you don't know? He literally said, "I didn't do that."
Hold on, no, that's not true. There was a moment?
No, that's very true. He literally said to Hutch, "I didn't know."
He turned around. He turned around and was like, "I asked you at the time, like, well, what would be the thing you want me to do next?" And you didn't say anything. This is what I'm talking about.
He said at all.
Huh?
That isn't what he said at all. He literally said, "Well, I just thought you were saying that to me. I didn't know you actually wanted me to do anything about it."
Because he turned around. The constant thing that he's been asking everybody when it comes to the people that are in his community is, "What would you have me do? What do you want me to do?"
But he didn't do that at the time.
Holy fuck! I'm talking about behind the scenes shit.
Yeah, what would you have?
And he literally said he didn't do it behind the scenes. Are you fucking deaf? I already said this.
So
during the conversation, I feel very strongly about this. I'm pretty sure during that conversation, he turned around and he said, "Yes, you told me that, like, wow, they're kind of wild about it." And I said, "Well," he asked something in the vein of, "What, what particular, who do you want me to ban, or what kind of commentary specifically?" And that he didn't tell him anything.
Yes, because the point is not you have to say, "Please ban this." It's when someone says, "Yo, your chat's fucked up," because they keep on going at me. The implication is there, and this is not some autistic thing. I don't know why we're just trying to
motherfucker.
Say that,
that's why I said very specifically, give me the guidelines, give me the guardrails. What range of shit? Not all negativity at that point. right?
Doug, if Pisco said he likes a free speech platform, so he knows that shit's going on. So it's not that what would you like me to do? He knows exactly what's going at it. He just doesn't care.
So all this boils
Hold
down
on,
to,
no,
and
no,
I
no.
said
Let
this in
me,
the chat.
Vishy.
What this
I think
boils
you're
down-
wrong on that. Hold on, let me tell
Hold
you
on,
why.
last thing.
Last thing, and then I got to
what this-
address this with Vishy.
Yeah.
Sure. The one thing that this boils down to is, and there's a through line here from all of the shit that's fallen out of Destiny's mouth, and the way that everybody else is handling this when they want to make it out that Pisco is some 5D chess Machiavellian interrogator, is everybody is turning around and saying that Hutch is a fucking 8-year-old that needs his hand held and needs special fucking
Who's everyone? You?
guardrails and shit. That if he says something dumb, you have to pull the fucking bus over and tell everybody to be nice to him. Otherwise, he
I
might
don't
get his
think
feelings hurt.
anyone is
Wait, who's
saying
everyone?
this.
Who's everyone says
Yeah,
that? Who's everyone?
who is
Pisco's
saying
chat?
this?
Who's everyone? Pisco's
I
chat?
just got done saying the suggestion between anybody else that's been talking about this, and it started with fucking Destiny, is that the suggestion is that Hutch is like a fucking 8-year-old boy that needs special
Why do you
attention.
keep saying this started with Destiny? Because Destiny pointed out something that other streamers were pointing out.
Hey, Smaj, I just want to ask Smaj, do we have a problem before Destiny? Did we have a problem with Pisco's moderation?
No, not at all. No.
No,
No,
yep,
I'm joking. Yes, we did. We had
Yeah,
a massive problem with Fisco's moderation. We would
all the time.
constantly talk about it all the time because they would bleed over into Hutch's community. They bleed over into Hutch's server, and they think they could act a certain way, which was just completely bad faith, completely disgusting in some cases. You have people like, again, Ogre Boy. I know that earlier you said you don't know Undead. I've seen you talk to Undead plenty, so I don't know why you lied about that. But we had people like Undead who were allowed free reign in Pisco server to say whatever they want. There's people right now in Pisco server who are saying, well, no, Islamophobia isn't against Twitch TOS, and shouting at others for even implying it is. And they bleed over into our server. We have people like Savage No Chill. I could name like 10 people because unfortunately I have to deal with that bullfuck.
Hold on. I'm not in his Discord server anymore. I left. There's like I said in Wix chat where I joined, there's way too many like Israel simps and a lot of the shit that's going on in there I don't fucking particularly like. But I'm not sitting there judging him as a content creator for it.
Here's my
why would
issue
you
I
not,
have
why would you
with-
not judge a
hold on.
content creator for the
if I may,
community they create?
If I may, Vishy, you made a statement earlier, and I want to address it because I think it kind of ties into all this, right? That
I bet square up.
and correct me if I misheard it, and I might have, but you said that Pisco his reasoning is that he loves the First Amendment, he likes a free speech zone, so he doesn't care that they're saying these things. Is that a honest kind of repetition of what you were saying?
Okay, let me try to like flesh that out a bit because I may have said that and I probably did. But what I mean by that is he knows exactly what Hutch is saying. So
Yeah.
it could be he cares, but maybe he wants to like stand. Like when I say doesn't care, maybe it's outweighed by how he wants his chat to be.
Well, that's my kind of good faith interpretation, right? I care when people are unhinged in my chat and say unhinged things, not just about me, but about my guests, about my friends, about all these things. It bothers me, but I also care about the idea of freedom of expression and allowing people to bother me, right? And to be bothersome without just nuking them from orbit with a ban. I think that these two things there's tension here, but if we're giving Pisco the best faith we can, we would have to admit that he might very well care that they're assholes to Hutch.
But wouldn't
he might
you
not
say
like that at all, but he might
value
the First Amendment and his free speech principles over that. That's very possible, right?
Wouldn't you say that your content is different than his?
Then Pisco's, yeah.
So wouldn't you say like you host debates, like I was saying way before, the way you operate, it makes sense. I don't get surprised with your chat because that's what you welcome. You like, I mean, maybe not welcome like
I don't
bad,
like it, but I understand that there's a
but that's like that's your thing,
that,
right?
Look, there are times when I'm wrong. Okay, there are times when I'm incorrect on a stance, or I am being inappropriate, or I'm being obtuse, or I'm being stupid or retarded, whatever you want to say, right? If I ban people for bothering me by calling me retarded when I'm not, how will I ever understand when I'm actually being retarded? And they have to feel I want my audience to feel comfortable calling me out, is what I'm saying.
Well, Wick, I think you're getting at something important. you should own it then. Pisco feels like Pisco's trying to play both and be like,
That's
I
why
want my chat to be like
my
this, but
criticism
also-
of Pisco
yeah.
is he needs to stop this game and just tell people,
Well-
no, fuck off. I'm gonna.
I mean,
I'm gonna
it could be.
host
Well,
things
here's
online."
the thing. It could be.
if he does that,
It
no
could
one
be
would
the
get mad.
case he does care. It could be the case that he does care. It could be the case he doesn't care. But right now he's trying to play both, and I think that's the
that's,
issue. It's not.
No one
say,
likes.
fuck him.
also-
no one
Maybe
likes
he
a
does actually
centrist,
care about his
boys.
criticism.
Okay,
But
no
also,
one likes a
Wick,
centrist.
people again. I would
True.
say Smaj and We Killed It too. Like the mods for Hutch, call him out all the goddamn time. But the point is, when people call you out, you know when it's just, oh, this guy's just being bad faith, or when it's an actual criticism or there's substantive debate you can have. Right?
Like there's
Like,
lines, obviously. Like there's lines, obviously. Like
Yeah,
if someone
exactly.
was,
So
like,
when you say,
fucking
"Oh, I want my
posting a
community
docs
to
or
call me
something,
out,"
then boom, they're gone, right?
well, yeah,
Like,
no, I mean, when you say, "I want my community to call me out," you can tell that you have certain, like, maybe you have certain regulars that are like calling you out. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you know when they're calling you that, it's not just snark or bad faith, compared to when someone else is doing it. You're like, okay, dude, what do you really kind of thing? Like, I would say when Smaj calls.
Here, I've seen people over moderate their chats, and I think over moderation is much worse than under moderation, in my opinion. But that's just a value call.
But
I do
really
wonder
depend,
though,
in my
and
opinion.
I think I asked this.
Like, I
to-
think it can really depend, though, right?
yeah,
Like,
just real
what
quick.
type of?
Just
Yeah.
real quick, because I do wonder, and I want an answer to this, and maybe I'll just ask Destiny directly. Why is Pisco getting so much shit for something I do, and no one said boo about it to me?
Because you don't have I'm sorry, but you don't have a stream with 4 of your friends that you do every Monday.
Yes.
I mean, like, it's like, I mean, the situation is different. Like, you, like I said before, if let's say you start having, actually, no, it wouldn't count because you started, your precedence is having this type of thing where anyone can come on. It's fine. But like, it didn't used to be like this. Pisco's chat didn't used to be that bad. It's kind of gone like that because a lot of the people that go to Pisco's community, we've kicked out of ours.
Fair enough.
Also, Wick, I think Vishy brought it up earlier. I'm not gonna like say who's in and out, but if you look at the public VCs in your servers, you have like wide array of views. We got some really fun and really weird views in that VC. But so no one's expecting you. You're not hosting a coalition of liberals that are sensibly trying to work towards similar goals. Where you're hosting how do you introduce your stream, like a cross party platform or whatever, right? Like, I think that's the like a cross ideological platform, right? I think that's also a major difference, right? And then Pisco and these people seem to have a relationship that isn't just like come on my stream and talk. They seem to be at least more than just like simple like random people that are working together, right? It seems that at the very least they're like colleagues to extend where like there might be a more formal expectation of like, hey, it feels like you're fostering people that are really anti-meat. But again, that's what we talked about earlier, right? Of like the whole like it's cringe to be like moderate. It isn't cringe necessarily to be like, hey, these people are like shit talking and this is something that's bothering me. These are two very different ways of approaching the issue as well.
Fair enough.
Would you say a fair? This is just from my take of it, and this is just from moderating
Go ahead.
Hutch and trying to be more hands off on it, right? Would you say it'd be unfair to say, hey, Pisco, you don't moderate your chat enough because when you have guests like Lonerbox and you have guests of the stream and you know people like that, the first thing they see in your chat is toxicity, and they see vitriol, and they see hatred against them. I guess I'll ask you, Ogboy, because you seem to be in Ogre in defense of Pisco. Would you say that that's asking too much of him, really, as like a bare minimum? As the bottom floor is, hey, if we're talking to someone on the stream or you know they're on the podcast, don't ad hom, don't talk shit, don't be toxic. Would you say that's asking too much?
Not talking shit. I think that's a bit much. The other two, I don't really have that much of an issue with. I do think that the other thing too is I think the way that combined chat for that fucking podcast, I think that does a lot of work to hide shit. And I think sometimes they collectively they don't know where specific comments are always coming from. And some of the people that were the most unhinged aren't always necessarily coming from Pisco's fucking chat. They move around. It's true. Some do come from Pisco's chat. That's also true. But he does have a thing where he's like, where's the fucking comment? I will ban that. And that's anybody that downplays that is bad faith, because ultimately you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. So when he's saying when he says find the example, find the thing, right? That's something that Hassan does all the time. When there's certain things that are fucked up, he'll bring it on the screen and then hit like a 1 week button to show that that's something he's not going to do. you have to you're tolerate. You have to start from a position where you're at least finding the individual examples, which he does put effort into, and say that that's the sort of shit he's not going to fucking tolerate.
He puts effort into. Hasn't there been dozens of examples over this week of him seeing stuff and not saying anything? In fact, he constantly talks in his Discord where they say this sort of stuff, and he doesn't do anything. Would you not say that it's a content creator's job to have a decent moderation team that know what they're doing to stop this happening in the first place? To stop
We
these
would
sort
have
of
to
comments
talk about
happening?
each individual example, because at the end of the day, a lot of things that I think would probably be fine, and maybe he would even think would be fine, you're obviously not going to think would be fine. And I think that that's not even a hot take. So
Sure, but there should surely be that baseline there, like I said, of if I'm on a podcast with 4 other people who have slightly differing views to me, I would make sure that my chat is on the best behavior it can be when we have guests on. Would you not say that that would be a basic thing to say to your moderators? Hey, moderators, don't, chill with this sort of shit before we have a guest. I think that would be a
but
basic
even when you
requirement.
okay, no, listen, I'm with you. There are certain things in there that were definitely said that even I wouldn't necessarily want to have said. True, 100%, right? There's a couple things with that. One, they're doing the same thing. This is also a vehicle of like what they've done to Hassan in the past, is that if you could, just because you can catch it in the moment on the fucking live stream, doesn't mean that they didn't do something about it in the days or weeks to follow or whatever. Some people are repeat offenders, yes, but some of the ones that are like really fucked up, it is my understanding that they have banned and blocked that person.
Wait. The critique of Hassan's chat's a lot different, because Hassan's chat will go in emote only in certain situations because there's large portions of his chat that cannot control themselves. That's the critique of Hassan's chat. Not that there's random messages, but that like if you pause at any time on the screen, there's multiple messages that are just unhinged. I will say Hassan's chat is a lot larger and a lot faster, so it might be hard to moderate it. But I'll also say that it speaks to the level, the community that Hassan has
Yes,
fostered. That's usually the critique.
no control
That's
over
the
who can
critique,
talk
though.
in that chat, right?
Okay.
Well,
Do
you don't think if you say a single thing against Hassan, he just nukes you immediately?
No.
We are.
We can
that's also-
test that.
We
Is
are.
Hassan streaming right now?
That is also.
Is
hold
he
on,
streaming
hold on,
right
I've
now?
already
We can
tested
test
I've
it.
already tested it, Wick. I've already
That's
tested
also.
it.
Hold on.
We don't even
God
need
damn
to
it.
test
That's
it.
also
We don't
not
even need
the
to
I'll
point.
go into his
You think
chat and I'll say
majority of the
Hassan
wait.
sucks balls.
Wait, wait,
Okay, and we'll
we
see
don't
if I
even need
get
to test
banned.
it. Ogre Boy, do you think the majority of the people talking in his chat are going to be random people popping in? Like, obviously, the question is the community he's fostered is probably
Hold on,
represented by that
hold on,
chat. So
hold
we
on,
talk
hold on,
about
hold on.
wait.
That wasn't even the point I was trying to make. The point I was trying
Why
to
would you
make
make
is
such?
he doesn't have control over who can make a random comment in the chat. So at
But we're
times
not-
when he has something,
Why do you keep
God
raising
damn
a
it.
random comment?
Fuck.
It's not about random comments. Then engage with what we said. I said
That's
it's about the
literally-
community he's fostered.
That's
Okay,
hold on,
bro.
dude. Hold on. Fuck. The point is, you're talking about the ability to pause it at any given point, and times in advance where they have put it into emote only mode. It is infinitely more plausible that they are trying to preserve the ability to use certain shit for YouTube, obviously, but also it isn't that any one person necessarily is unhinged in and of themselves. The idea is that you can have people in there that are going to definitely go in, not be a part of the community, but with the intent of like spamming or putting goofy shit in. The reason that he would go in emote only mode is to protect against that sort of shit in segments that matter to him, right?
Okay, so there's two things here. First of all, the notion that most people typing in Hassan's chat are going to be that are posting that on stuff are just going to be random people when it's usually
didn't say
large
most.
swaths of the chat. Okay, so let me just clarify what I'm talking about. Large swaths of Hassan's chat will be unhinged when certain guests or certain topics are online, so they get put in emote only. You're making the claim of no, that emote only is to prevent followers, like people who are just hopping in the chat to spam stuff. But it seems like that it's happening consistently. It seems like, could it also not be Hassan's community? This is the type of community Hassan fosters. Like, do you really think majority of the unhinged messages are, if like, let's say we're on screen.
I'm not
I'm going to give a hypothetical. I'm going to give a hypothetical. I'm going to give a
giving a
hypothetical.
percentage.
Let Storm will
percentage of
finish. Let Storm will
attribution to
finish,
where it's
please.
coming
If we were
from.
to give, if we were to pause this on chat, and about 50% of those, I'm not saying it is the case or isn't the case, but about 50% of those messages are like really unhinged things and like type of messages that would cause the mod to put them in emote only. Are we gonna say majority? What would we say about the community Hassan's fostering? Are we gonna say it's more likely that those are agitators coming in, or are we gonna say it's more likely Hassan's community?
The perception would be that it's Hassan's community.
Exactly. So I don't know why we're doing this stupid thing of, well, people come in. It's obvious that people make the critique that if it is a consistent pattern with Hassan's chat, that large swaths of messages, I don't know the exact percentage, are giving really like problematic or really weird things that can't be put on YouTube, which is why they put it in emote only for certain topics, then maybe it's not that people are coming in, but there seems to be a larger problem with Hassan's chat and the community. So when you make this appeal to Hassan's chat to compare to Pisco, the same critique would apply. That's the community you're fostering.
Here's a
Would you
question for
say-
all of you,
sorry.
actually. At what point in this chat you can weigh in as well, right? At what point should a content creator be held responsible for their community? Is there ever a point
Pretty much immediately.
where
Pretty much
a
immediately.
content
It's-
creator
it's-
should be held responsible for how their community behaves?
I think there's always a degree of accountability with your community. Ultimately, your community, you would ideally want your community to represent what you are advocating for. And if there is a disalignment, you probably should be kind of working with that community to like at least know where you are at and know that they might not be where you are at. So like Wick, for example, you probably have a community of people, a lot of mixed people, but I don't think most of your community would say they are like avidly following what you believe, for example, or represent you personally because of the way you run your chat. A lot of these streamers, a lot of the chatters will say, yeah, I'm ideologically aligned with like Destiny or Hassan or Hutch or whatever. And those people will have positions. So the question is, are we going to, and the question is, what kind of community do we foster? So like, if there's a lot of unhinged messages in a chat, it's not unreasonable to think that that streamer either isn't prioritizing the decorum in that chat, and then they might have some level of responsibility, or even encouraging it to other degrees. Now, maybe the streamer doesn't care. That's again fine. But then it's fair to also say that that stream that is representative how the streamer feels about those types of messages. I think that's also fair.
Other
So
thoughts?
I have to go in a second, but
Go
I'll
ahead.
say whatever you just said. Yes. Also, I want to say
Whatever you just said, yes.
sorry, my ADHD is going off. I agree with what he just said. Two, because I'm not gonna like do a whole dialogue for repeating the exact same thing someone just said, bro. Okay. Two,
It comes
Pisco,
across like you weren't
it'll-
fucking listening. Holy shit.
No, yes, I understand.
Whatever you
that,
just
but I wanna-
said, I
Ogre boy,
co-signed. That was
Ogre boy.
awesome.
Okay, so
Ogre boy, that's what it's like listening to you talk. It always feels like you weren't listening as well. So don't worry, we understand the feeling.
also in a past convo between Pisco and Destiny, I think I forgot when. It wasn't this one, but it was the one before then. Oh, it was the one where Doobie like donated like his entire paycheck or some shit to fucking Pisco. Pisco had to remove YouTube chat because he said they're being so unhinged. He didn't say you guys are gone. I'm gonna start banning people. He said I'm just gonna remove the chat so it's not on screen. I think that says something about the type of community and what you accept. If instead of like
I
actually
don't have my chat
going
on screen.
after the people you have to remove it, you just remove the chat from screen. Like what? You guys are being unhinged. Guys.
And
Let
to
me
be
just
clear,
remove-
I am reaffirmed every day
Wait,
in my
hold on.
decision, the wisdom of my decision, not to have my chat on the screen. But go ahead.
Would you say
Well, hold on, wait. The perception I had on that was because that was spillover from other communities that were there to give him a fucking hard time, like i.e. from like Destiny's community and shit, and also specifically because they were using slurs. They were dropping the fucking N-bomb. Now you're definitely into TOS territory. That is the thing that he doesn't want to have on there. So it's not a fucking like squad W, haha, flip the roles situation. If you're actually breaking terms of service, yes, he caught
Doc,
attention
if
to
you were
that.
in that chat, which I
The
was,
fuck?
it was mostly like shitting on Destiny, and it was shitting on Destiny and shitting on Hutch. There's a lot of Hutch hate in a thing that had nothing to do with him.
During the
I've got to go shortly as well. I
During the
just really want to
yeah.
make a point.
All right,
Sorry,
see, I love y'all.
sorry,
Thank you, Wick.
Would you say the goal for Pisco now is to foster a community? After the conversations that he's had, he would want a community that isn't shit talking his co-hosts, for example, especially after the conversation he had with Hutch, shit talking his co-hosts or their communities or you know, things like that. Would you say that's now his
if you
goal?
lose the shit talking, that's gonna be fucking boring as shit. Like absolutely. So I think you got to be hyper specific about what shit talking. If you
Fine.
can't have
Shit
banter,
talking being-
hold on. I don't
being-
listen. I don't know what you do for a living, and I don't want you to tell me. Okay, but I am fucking absolutely ruthless to the people that I fucking work with. They are ruthless back and forth to me. We fucking meme on each other all goddamn day and say the worst shit imaginable. But the thing I open with when new people are introduced to the mix is I go, look, we are fucking terrible to each other here, but it's because the conditions suck. We're all tired and cranky, but it's all in good fun. And I need you to know that you can come to me behind the scenes, and if there's behind closed doors, I will stop what I'm doing and entertain it at any given time. If you are made to feel uncomfortable, you need to tell me, because I will make sure that anything that you have an issue with stops. That's the thing that's been missing from this. And a lot of the fucking people that were participating in this took the opportunity to jump on into it, make it a public fucking spectacle, and in turn try to get some sympathy off of it. Period.
We've spoken about this, and it was Pisco that tried to make it a public spectacle. But at the same
And that's
time,
okay. It's
in a response,
this happened in public. It's okay to make it public.
Bullshit.
It's okay for
I
the
didn't
public
say
to
that
have
was
thoughts on what
necessary.
happened in
It's
public.
not
Yes.
bullshit, Ogre Boy. We've been over this. It's not bullshit. He literally said, "Let's talk about it publicly" to someone who's
after getting
Twitter.
accused of it publicly, after somebody got fucking ginned up, after listening to
Do you
Destiny
really
for
think
the
Twitter
afternoon.
is this? Do you really think a Twitter reply is the same thing as going on a YouTube stream or a Twitch stream and broadcasting it out?
Hold on. Pause. Full stop. Okay. A while back, if you go back to the we need to make Republicans scared and that whole rhetoric, that whole cycle, right? I went in because listening to how fucking silly everybody was being, and I went in the disagreements thing, and I took Destiny's side of it, and I freaked Pisco the fuck out by doing that, because he said something to the effect, if you can find the VOD, it's there, and I dropped it afterwards, but he says, you're going to get me in trouble. When it comes to people from Destiny's community, all of these motherfuckers know one thing, and one thing straight up. They know that if you piss him off, they're going to come after you. They're going to be in your replies. They're going to fuck up your call-in channel on your fucking Discord. Your ability to do anything else but have people log in and go, I really feel like when you mention this about Destiny and when you said this about Hassan, and it's going to fuck them content-wise for like the weeks to come. Period.
Ogre Boy, don't you?
Yes, when someone turns around from his community and starts getting all fucking juiced up, especially when it's like one of his editors, you either address that specifically or you're gonna get fucking hounded. What are we,
I have
what
no
are we
love for
talking about at this
Destiny.
point?
I would put it out there. I have no love for Destiny very publicly, even though I'm a Hutch admin. I have no love for Destiny whatsoever.
Okay,
I just want to put that out there. My whole point, Ogre Boy, that we're ignoring was, would you say that Pisco's goal now is to, or would you say, I'm sure what he's feeling? I can't, say this is definitely what he's feeling, but would you not say that his idea, based on what he's been doing in his Discord, would be, okay, I need a moderation team, or I need to make sure that it doesn't happen that when guests come on the stream, they don't feel unwelcome, or friends of the podcast don't feel unwelcome, and their communities don't feel unwelcome. Would you say that would be a goal of his? That unwelcome. Let's
that should
start
be
back
a
the shit
mostly
talking.
that should be a mostly behind the scenes hard charging goal to talk about with the whole group about what needs to happen next. That should not be an open facing thing. It should be something that they're all collectively working on, and they should be working on it more often. I have just a hunch that they're not really collaborating behind the scenes too much about what the fuck they're going to do. Maybe because they're all collectively pretty busy. Maybe they all have their own projects and their own endeavors. And this is maybe the only time that these people are actually communicating is what we see on stream every week.
Sure. I'm saying, you're not really engaging with the point I'm making. After the conversation that he had with Hutch publicly on stream in Destiny stream, do you think that will be Pisco's goal? Is to make sure that friends of the stream and podcast hosts and their communities feel more welcome.
It's because
you're
being vague.
There's an easy answer to this, by the way.
So I'm trying to describe what should happen. Jesus Christ. You're being vague, so I'm trying to say what I think should be hyper specific about what you're telling me, right? Okay. The idea of what a better moderation team. Okay, guys, no more being bad faith. What the fuck does that mean?
Okay, sure. So would you say he would tell his moderation team, guys, no more shit talking, my podcast co-hosts or guests on the stream in such extreme ways, maybe using slurs or maybe being bad faith? Would you say that he would tell them?
Wasn't there
hold on. Wouldn't that be a very unfair ask? Just real quick, Smaj, wouldn't that be a very unfair ask? That just means that Pisco doesn't have an audience for that stream. Joke. It's a joke. I'm making a joke. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, Rick. Sorry, Rick.
Well, no, I was saying also Pisco posted a message in his Discord server saying that was the point.
You're saying don't say slurs. You already can't say slurs, right?
Really? So why did he just make someone in his community an admin for their moderators that called all of Hutch's community retards?
So they get off of his dick.
What?
I didn't stutter.
Pisco
Holy
posted
fuck.
a message in his
I'm
Pisco
asking
posted
you
a
to
message in
expand.
his Discord server about how he's updating the moderation rules, how he wants to minimize the type of bad faith criticisms that he's been hearing that people have been complaining about. You can say that he wants to get them off their dick, that's fine, but it clearly seems that he wants to take his moderation in a different direction.
What is bad faith?
You were asked a very
And sure. And his point of taking it in a different direction is making someone an admin who immediately started shit talking other people in his podcast communities. So what does that tell you about how serious he is about actually achieving this or doing this?
Again, I'm going to keep asking the same questions. You're using, you guys are in order to keep this alive. And I understand there's probably 3 to 6 like really bad examples. And in some of those really bad examples, my understanding was, because I do believe I was watching live at the time, they took the chat off the screen. They took measures to try to find them. But even then, collectively, they were all admitting that it was somebody they couldn't fucking track down because he was hopping channels and shit in order to fucking ban the person and get their name. So in order to keep this alive, you guys are clinging to certain buzzwords, bad faith, shit talking. But my point is, if I'm going to tell somebody, get everybody that's bad faith, and if our understanding of that isn't aligned, it's the joke Wick made. There goes the entirety of the fucking channel if they happen to have a political fucking disagreement with somebody.
Ogre Boy, we've talked about what bad faith is.
Ogre's
we had
fine.
a conversation. You keep referencing. Okay. You should change your name then. But anyways,
No.
again, the issue is we've had this conversation about what's bad faith, and you keep going back to, well, what is bad faith? We give you examples. You're like, yeah, I agree that's bad faith, but I don't think it's everything. It seems to I feel like you're kind of doing this to kind of pivot out of what it's like the obvious. There's things that we can obviously agree are bad faith criticisms that are being made that haven't been getting moderated. I think it's fine to just say, you don't, like, you're right, it might be vague, but if Pisco has a general understanding of what he thinks is bad faith, I don't think we need to have this like, well, what is bad faith? I think there seems to be a pretty good indication from most people of types of criticism that have been viewed as bad faith. I think Pisco seems to understand. I think we all seem to understand. So when you keep going back to this, it feels like you're trying to deflect from like the question of like moderation again. It feels
If
like
I give you a
from the broader
term
point.
sheet, if I give you a term sheet and I say, if you see any of these things, ban them, right? That at least requires a certain amount of like specificity, no?
Sure, but it doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily need a term sheet to understand what the general principle is, right? I think the general principle that people have been talking to Pisco about is
It's
criticisms that
vibes
are made.
based. Holy shit. It's vibes based. That's what you guys are pushing.
Ogre, is it okay if
It's
I
what
like
it is.
Ogre, is
Wait,
it
wait,
okay if
what
I
do you
take
think
your
any
side
kind of-
here for a sec?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
It's not even
So
my
let
stream.
me see if I can like steel man your position, or at least give my position, which I think is your position. So
I have got a
basically,
dip, guys. I'm really sorry. See you later.
No, thank you
Thanks again,
for
Wick.
coming, Smodge.
Cheers, guys.
Have
See
a
you
great
later.
day. Bye.
Bye.
This would be a good time for me to drop out too.
If you need to.
I'm homesick. I'm homesick today with a fucking
Okay.
flu.
Well,
And I've been like
bro.
straining to not cough into the microphone.
Before
I do
you-
appreciate
before
you
you
calling in,
drop out-
but
What?
yeah, have a great day.
I got one thing I want to push back on. Pisco, in terms of updating his moderation, I don't know if this is necessarily something he wants to do. Because if he wanted to do it, this would have not been an issue to begin with. He had to get pushed back on this by multiple people online and get called out on it before he actually took action. So I don't know if we can really classify this as Pisco wanting to institute this moderation policy. Does anyone want to disagree with me on that?
I think Pisco's probably realized that people are upset about it and is probably responding to that. I do agree. I don't know how much he would have done if he wasn't receiving pushback. So yeah, that's probably a fair thing to say.
Okay.
Is that
okay?
Oh,
was
by
I
the way,
supposed to
Wick,
argue with that?
I DM'd you a video, and it kind of goes with the point that I was making before. That
How long
Hutch
is this
was
video?
clipped out of context. It's not long. It's just the video itself is long. I gave you a timestamp on the video to go to, in which it was literally called out for the Jeffrey Epstein versus Hassan comment. Like,
Okay, give me a second.
All right, hold on. While you're queuing that up, I've just found renewed vigor. I'll go grab a cough drop. We've lost the plot there, and this will be the last thing that I say. Or if you guys want to yell about that for like a minute afterwards, I'll stick around. But the idea of a Twitch himbo versus an international world-renowned sex trafficking, arms dealing, industrial espionage peddling person, the idea of trying to say which one and then still trying to go with or lean in the direction and not have it be a reflexive response that you say the Twitch himbo, as opposed to the guy that we know is one of the most notorious sex traffickers of a generation. He deserved to get fucking mocked for that into the goddamn ground over and over and over again.
Wow,
Fuck.
Ogre Boy, that must be a really bad indictment on how bad Hassan's politics are, that he might be worse than the most notorious sex trafficker
No,
of
it
all
shows how
time.
fucking brain broken and brain rotted fucking Hutch is. That's what that shows.
Okay,
That
what
wasn't the first
I
thing
to be
that came
clear,
out of his
I
goddamn
don't know
mouth.
if I don't know if I want to take this from someone who has a Hassan tattoo. I don't know if I want to hear this take from someone who has a Hassan tattoo, to be fair.
Okay,
And-
let's watch this. How long is this? If it's more than a minute,
It's
I'm
not
gonna
very
do it.
long. You can just like a minute, and
Okay,
you'll be good.
let's see what we got.
One of the most insane clips I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, Hutch, I'm calling you out. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. If this is accurate, if this is an accurate thing, you're fucking crazy.
We're
No,
talking
it
about a guy
shows
who.
you think Hassan is worse than Jeffrey Epstein. That's what it shows you,
Who
Hutch.
brought Jeffrey
That's what it
Epstein
shows
into
you.
this? What is Jeffrey
You
Epstein?
did when you
I hope this is a joke.
said I would vote for Epstein over fucking JD Vance.
Tell me, what is Jeffrey Epstein's policy platform?
Dude, you don't need.
That's a fair question, isn't it? Isn't that relevant to the analysis?
No,
I don't know anything about Jeffrey
I can't
Epstein's
tell if
politics.
he's frozen or if he's like really
it has
locked
to be
in
a
right
joke,
now.
I'm
right?
watching
Would he push
this
for a
thing.
public option?
Oh, okay.
Is he
You're
a
not sharing
Medicare
your
for
screen
all?
on
This is
my
every
end, so
this is
can't
every
watch.
internet debate, by the way.
Okay, is that? I think that's enough for me at least. I get. the
Why are
point,
we
I get the
bothering?
gist.
Yeah, I
Why
think
are we
I get it.
bothering to ask what Epstein's policy platform would be when, even if he's doing the most good faith administration in the history of the country, we know for a fact that he would be predating fucking minors?
So,
Like, what is
well,
this?
The
What are we
question,
doing?
the question, Ogre Boy, it's this: if you had to choose between someone who was morally good, a Christian, like a devout moralist, never hurt a fly, a pacifist, was kind to everyone, but his policies would get millions of people killed. Okay, and then you have another candidate who's a PDF file, basically, right? Like Jeffrey Epstein, but his policies would save millions of lives. It's not an easy question to answer, right? We can understand that
Well,
there were different answers people might give that would be reasonable, right? Different lines people
Is it
would
okay
draw.
if I take a stab at that one?
Go ahead.
So I think like the problem is like we're trying to evaluate it on one axis, but there's like two relevant axes to analyze it, which is harm of the theoretical policies, and then there's also level of competence of the individual. And I mean, if we're talking about Epstein versus Hassan, like Hassan is nowhere close to as competent of a person, provably, as Epstein was, with nowhere close to the level of connections that Epstein had.
Sure, but in the
Um,
hypothetical, they're both president of the United States and have the power and full backing of the United States behind them, so they could do whatever they wanted.
Hold on. To be fair, hold on. I think there's an element of this that a grass touching element that I think you guys are overlooking completely. There's been multiple people now at this point that have come forward, or at least I shouldn't say multiple. I should say at least two. Two of his buddies have come forward and basically said, "You fucking talk about Hassan all the time. What the fuck?" And in this moment, it is worth kind of highlighting to see whether or not you're going to put your name potentially next to Jeffrey Epstein in a good way over the heated, hated rival that you obsess about online constantly. Watch this. Watch. I would vote for Hutch over Epstein. See how easy that is? See how that just flowed
vote
out
for
of me
Netanyahu
without any
over
hesitation?
Yeah,
What do you vote for
but
Netanyahu over
That's
Epstein?
not even a comparison because Hutch's policies aren't as bad as Hassan's.
Well,
or
hold on.
at
Let me
least
ask you this:
everyone-
Who, Ogre Boy, would you vote for Netanyahu or Jeffrey Epstein?
No,
Not a
I would.
simple question.
Netanyahu
No,
or Jeffrey,
well, I mean-
Jeffrey Epstein? Got to pick one. Which one?
No. So from everything, the one aspect of what you're trying to get, hold on, the one aspect of what you're trying to get me on, my understanding is they're both actively, aggressively working towards Israel. So ultimately, I would probably go for Netanyahu. He's killing Palestinians, but he's not trying to fuck kids.
Okay. Fair.
Well, Wick, have you considered that
Seriously.
Netanyahu isn't a U.S. citizen? So I mean, it's not a
Oh.
logical hypothetical.
Wait, wasn't he born in
Also, wasn't
Philadelphia?
Hutch's final answer ended up being he like kill? Did Hutch say like, oh yeah, I would
Yeah.
just rather like kill myself? Wasn't that Hutch's final answer?
Why is
No,
this
I
like
Excuse me,
confusing
sir.
for you?
He's not adhering to the hypothetical. Then, if that's the case, that's
I
a
gotta
cop
use the
out.
restroom. Be
He
good
is
while I'm
not. He's
done.
not grounded in his axioms, and I think that's kind of bullshit. Quite frankly.
Why is it confusing to you that like he would ask what his political standing is? Because I mean, clearly he's diametrically opposed to Hassan's standings. So why would he not ask what Epstein's policies would be? I
Because
think that's
he's
a perfectly logical question.
Because he's a sex trafficking child predator.
When has that ever stopped somebody from getting elected?
Okay, we're a little.
No,
Wait,
hold on.
I'm
no,
good at this
that's
I guess the
point.
not.
question
We're a
is
that's
little
not
lost
right
in the
question.
sauce
I
now.
guess the question is, would you
Yeah.
vote
Yeah,
for
I'm
someone?
just
Would you
saying.
vote for someone
Like
who's
when the
fundamentally like
question.
opposed to your? Would you vote for?
I just
Yeah,
said I
let's go.
would vote for Netanyahu over Epstein. I just said it.
Right, but in this
I would vote
case,
for Hutch.
Okay,
in this case,
Ogre boy. Do you like Donald Trump? Just, I want to clarify this.
No.
Okay, so would you rather vote for Jeffrey Epstein, but he maintains every single one of the policy positions that you maintain, or Donald Trump?
Long-term damage by putting Epstein, a known pedophile, into the Democratic Party is that long-term you end up driving people away from the party because now the party is attached to
That's not my
pedophilia.
question.
So
Would you rather vote for Epstein that holds all of your policy positions, or Donald Trump?
Donald Trump.
why?
Okay.
But don't
I
wait.
just
Running
got
Donald
done
Trump
saying,
doesn't risk
if
alienating
y'all
further voters.
if y'all can refrain from fucking talking for a second, I'll explain why. The short term, the idea of short term wins versus long term losses is something that's fucking absolutely doesn't even penetrate your guys' brains. Again, in the hypothetical that you guys are talking about, you are saying the Democratic Party should take the person that we know of right now as Jeffrey Epstein and run him against Donald Trump. Even if you were successful,
when you say
hold
run,
on, stop.
Sorry, I'm gonna step in. There's a run-in rhetoric that people use is so retarded. The idea is they are the nominee. That's not running. That means they would win, but that's also not the point.
Why
The
wouldn't
point is,
hold on?
You're like,
Stop, dude. Why wouldn't the Democratic Party in the event, even if they did get that far, they were talking about pulling the nomination from Bernie in 2020 if he actually ended up winning the primary. So, an international sex trafficking, child predating, arms dealing, espionage power broker. You're saying that the party shouldn't pull the nomination from that person in the event that they made it all the way through the primary.
sure they should, but we're in a world where we're assuming they. Okay, you know what? I
Okay,
feel like
you're
the
just changing the
hypothetical-
axioms of the argument that we're giving
Yeah.
right now.
Okay,
You're giving, this doesn't even. This
That's
doesn't
the
even.
issue. You
It's
guys
not
are
even relevant
brain-broken.
to the point that we're trying to make.
The long-term,
I'm curious what you mean by
long-term
long-term
harm of associating your party with a fucking arms dealing, sex trafficking, child predator is something that I don't think you escape from. I think that's one of the ways that you
What
drive
about
out the rest of the
harms
people.
of opening someone who's going to destroy
what
our
is the
country?
benefit of
I'm
Donald
back
Trump?
just real quick.
Democracy.
You
What about
understand,
that
like
long-term harm
no
of
one
that?
no one is suggesting we vote for Jeffrey Epstein. Not seriously, right?
That's the hypothetical, right? So when I say one versus the other and I explain why, it's like, well, no one's actually saying we should vote for them.
You didn't explain why. You just said
Oh, Jesus Christ,
long-term
I did.
versus
All right,
short.
look.
Okay.
Wick,
Okay.
Wait,
to be
Ogre Boy,
fair, I
what are the
generally
long-term harms of?
Go, I want to hear what Ogre Boy had to say. Go ahead.
I already explained. I normally disagree with you 100,000%.
I know.
Today you've been reasonable, so I will at least say thank you. At this point, everybody knows
You're
where the
only
fuck my
reasonable
Twitch
when you
channel
agree
is,
with
so
me.
I'm not even necessarily going to plug that, and I'm just going to say toodles. Take it easy.
Peace
Thanks
out.
for letting
He's
me
only,
go.
by the way,
Bye-bye.
you're only reasonable with him when you agree with him. That's important to remember. When you agree with
Here's
him,
the thing.
Well, yeah,
I'm
reasonable.
always
He only
reasonable.
justified half of his claim, by the way.
I'm always
Only one half
reasonable.
of his
It's
claim.
just sometimes you agree with me and
I
sometimes you
agree.
don't, which is fair. But
What I was trying to ask him, so what he was saying is he was saying the long-term damage from voting for Epstein and the hypothetical between Epstein and like Trump, for example, would be that like that Epstein would like create long-term damage to the Democratic Party. I was trying to ask him, what's the long-term effect of voting for Trump to American democracy? And it feels like that's what the Hassan question is also getting at, right? What's the long-term question issue of voting for Hassan? If Hassan is like going to destroy American democracy and destroy our economy and cause untold harm to American people, right? That's the assumption we'd be working with here from the liberal perspective. That's why it's not as simple as a yes or no.
Yeah, that's the question he ran away from because he didn't want to confront it because he knew it was a bad choice.
Yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about for the past couple of days, which is I think like a lot of the leftist sort of dialogue comes from a place of what I'm calling the inverse Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, obviously great power comes great responsibility. The inverse is if we don't have any power, then we don't have to take any responsibility.
True.
And
And
so
Do you-
based.
So I have a good question. Do you think that Pisco would be okay with Ogre Boy kind of being on his side?
What do you mean? Okay.
who are you asking?
Like in general, do you think like he's gonna look back on this and be like, yeah, that's so fantastic that Ogre Boy was like gutting for my side?
I don't think
And-
he cares, to be honest.
Yeah, why would he care?
Because there's this whole thing with like far leftists.
I don't even know if Ogre Boy is on his side.
Well, I mean, why else was he here?
I think
mean,
Ogre,
I get
Ogre
it.
Boy is willing to defend
But-
Pisco. I don't know if Pisco's willing to defend Ogre Boy. Like,
Well, I
think
don't
Ogre Boy
get
is
that.
kind of
Like,
like a contrarian. He'll take whatever policy is like the anti-liberal policy, I guess.
I mean, would he do the same thing in a situation where, like, if it was Pisco and Hutch and Ogre Boy, who would he defend? Like, who would he speak out against?
It probably depends on what the issue is.
Yeah, I just think that he's a bad mouthpiece for either one of them in general.
Well, that's certainly true.
Okay,
Yeah.
gang. I wanted to switch gears a little bit, right? And I want to talk about liberalism a little bit. Live and learn. Are all of its members liberal, in your opinion? Do you think that Soy Pill is a liberal? Why or why not?
I mean, when we say
I'll
liberal,
just
are
go
we just
ahead
talking
and
about
say,
like
I'll just go ahead and say yes if liberalism is a belief in representative or Republican democracy.
Well, that's one of the beliefs
Yeah,
of
if we're using
liberals
liberals-
hold, but it wouldn't be a full accounting. Like, so for example,
Well, we could
a
do that.
liberal
We could do
believes in something
rights.
like freedom of speech. A liberal believes in something like freedom of association. A liberal believes in in private property rights. They also believe in equality under the law. There's a whole host.
yeah,
of
then yes, I would say all of
Yeah.
them are liberals. I'd say they're all
Okay.
liberals.
Fair enough.
Yes.
For me, I have somewhat complicated opinions based off of a recent Live and Learn episode that happened.
Oh, the Rashad one?
Yeah, the Rashad one.
That's
Holy
what I wanted to get
shit.
at.
That was brutal.
It was peak.
I completely agree with Hutch, and I think all of the Pisco, or actually Pisco was actually kind of reasonable in that one. It was really the Soy Pill was propping up Rashad there with wanting to basically forsake the Constitution and forsake the courts in
Does
order
anyone have the
to
clip?
enact
I really
their
wish I had
outcome.
prepared more for this, but does anyone have the clip of Rashad
Um,
saying that? Can you DM it to me and we can play it? Because
There's a 10-minute video. It's
I don't wanna
10
see the 10
minutes.
minutes,
It's on
just give me a
the
timestamp.
Destiny Reddit.
Give me the
what
video
I'll
with
say
the
is,
timestamp.
from what-
Yeah.
So I was talking to someone in the Wiki server earlier about this episode, so I'm all hearing it from word of mouth. My understanding is the Crenshaw was basically saying essentially that basically that it might be true that Dems are winning electorally in the future, but right now Republicans have a lot of institutional power, and we need to find effective ways to deal with the current current institutional power that's happening. But someone could correct me if I'm wrong if that's not what they were saying.
So Rashad, as I understand it, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I've seen enough, and I saw full clips where he did say things like he would remove a judge if that judge ruled against him in the courts, right? Or against what he wanted in the courts. Like, for example, if you brought a lawsuit against Fox News and you bring that court to a judge, or you bring that case to a judge, and the judge looks at it and says, there's no real case here, we're going to throw it out, we can't really prosecute this. What should happen? That's what Hutch asked him. And he said, you'd remove that judge. I would posit to you all that anyone saying something like that is fundamentally, at their core, illiberal. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, that makes them no better than Trump because that's what Trump said.
Yes.
essentially. That's what
Thank
he
you.
continues to say. I mean, he's
Does
basically
anyone
just
disagree? First of all, does anyone here disagree with that, or anyone in chat if you want to? disagree with
I'll
that. I know
steal-
Jay Ray.
I'll steal from
Hold on. Jay
everybody.
Ray in
I
chat is
agree
saying
with the
Destiny agree with
argument.
Rashad's overall vibe. Destiny's wrong on this too, and I'll fight
Yeah.
him as well if he wants to.
Well,
Come.
real quick, I agree with you that it's illiberal. I think I have disagreement with the fact that it's not necessary potentially.
I'll even
but that,
argue.
that goes
so
back
depending on
to.
Go ahead. No,
oh,
finish.
go ahead.
Finish.
Yeah, like I think it depends on what assumptions we take as true, right? Like, and this goes back to a conversation that we had like earlier this week or last week, something like that. But like, if you assume that there is going to be significant, let's just call it illegal activity around the 2026 election, then it would be reasonable to assume that it might be necessary to take illiberal actions going forward.
I
I think
disagree
that's
with
a pretty
this
logical
idea,
thing.
like fundamentally, just because I think that
I'll
if you indulge in these activities and illiberal activities, it weakens liberalism overall. And though you might lose an election or two, I think that that is less dangerous than indulging in behavior that weakens liberalism as a concept with the electorate, right? I think that the electorate.
I understand, but like the core of the disagreement is going to be how to say this exactly. So if, and you did say this,
Can I try?
I remember, but no, I got this. You did say
Okay,
that,
cool.
yeah, you did say that in 2026, Democrats would be justified if Republicans tried to steal the election and succeeded of doing a January 6th.
Yes.
Okay.
But how would
Okay.
we prove that? How would that make us any?
Yeah, but that's not an
better or
illiberal
worse?
action. You understand that, right?
Okay. But
So-
in this world, we have now justified both Democrats and Republicans violently protesting the outcome of this election.
Hold on. In one case, in the hypothetical world that I'm speaking of, an election really would be stolen, right? So there has
That's
to
true.
be, like, to be clear, you should do other things first to try to rectify it. But I am not a
Yeah, I
pacifist,
agree with that.
and liberals are not pacifists necessarily, right?
So
we believe in
yeah,
violence
no, I
on
agree with
occasion.
that.
There are occasions where you have to indulge in this, or not indulge, but you have to perform certain actions that you wouldn't in other circumstances. The idea, though,
That's true.
that
But
we are in a circumstance. Hold on, let me
this
finish.
is the real quick.
Let me
Okay, go
finish.
ahead, go ahead,
Let me
sorry.
finish. Right. The idea that was being posited on Live and Learn was that there would be a court case brought before a judge, and that judge disagreed with the court case and ruled against us. So therefore, we removed that judge from power, not through impeachment, but through fiat. That is a fundamentally different thing than suggesting if we had a corrupt judge that we knew was corrupt and breaking the law, that we remove him from power through the legal means to do so. These are different things.
So, Wick, do you think the
I
way we
think-
handle Reconstruction was illiberal, for example?
Oh, back in the Civil War era?
1870s.
Post-Civil War,
Yeah,
like
post-Civil War.
1860s,
I
1860s.
would be hesitant to opine on Reconstruction as a whole because I'm not that familiar with it. I know the overall basics of
That's
it, but I don't know
fair.
enough specifics to give you a real honest answer on this.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm just ignorant.
I'll
on
make
the
my
topic.
broader point that like I'm also against like things like directing the DOJ to go after Pam Bondi specifically for certain things we don't like her for. I'm not against directing the DOJ to investigate the previous administration, but I think my broader critique is always you shouldn't be giving specific political prosecutions. I also don't think the president should even be advising that at that point. I think that should be left up to the DOJ, unfortunately, because, like you said, there isn't a liberal norm. I also don't think it's necessarily unreasonable to make claims of, well, this administration needs to be held accountable. That might involve
Okay,
breaking
no
a few
one's
norms
no
in
one's
order
saying
to get there.
no one's saying against that. No one's saying that people who've broken the law
Yeah.
should be held accountable. No one is against that principle, right? At least not here.
Well, like,
What
so
I'm
do you remember
against,
the
what I'm
remember the
against,
Destiny
what I'm
debate
against,
with
and now let me
the
finish,
Nuremberg
and I'll let
trials?
you finish. I'll
Yeah.
let me finish, and I'll
Yeah.
let you finish. I promise, right? What I'm against is by fiat saying we are going to target Fox News. We're going to target Republicans who support Trump whatever that be. And we are going to throw the book at them. We're going to bring investigations against them. We're going to look into every single thing that they're doing to try to find something wrong. That seems to be what's being suggested by Destiny, by Rashad, by all these other people. And I think that if we go down that route, we are going to be destroying our country in a way that we will never recover from. We can recover from MAGA,
So
and
I don't
we're
know.
going to as soon as we win the election, right? We're going to start that process. It's going to be long. It's not going to be easy, but it's recoverable. If we go down that route, the one that Destiny, Rashad, etc. want to go down, we will never recover. That's it. That's end game. We are done. But
I think there's a difference.
I'm gonna give it back to Stormwolf.
Well,
I promised I'd let him go
yeah.
and finish. Go ahead.
I'm not going to speak for Rashad again because I didn't watch the full episode, but I don't know if I would say Destiny's propositions are necessarily illiberal, but we can get more specific. I think a great example of what things that need to happen. I'll say that, like, for example, if you're saying we should go after like news organizations and shut them down, I'll probably disagree on that one. But like, and I'll say that is illiberal. What I will say is that, like, for example, I think the gerrymandering thing. I think gerrymandering is like might still be considered under liberalism, but it seems kind of going against the spirit of the liberalism thing. But the point is that you want to show them that, like, when you fuck around and find out, there's consequences that'll backfire on you. I think we need more of that attitude. That doesn't mean we break liberal standards, but I think there needs to be that attitude to some extent.
Okay, here's the
which I think I'm more in agreement with you on that.
Gerrymandering is not at all what I suggested or not anything I brought up, because I don't disagree with gerrymandering. It's a thing we've always had. It's not new. It's something we do all the time. You can like it or dislike it, but it's fundamentally within the norms and within how we conduct ourselves as a country. We're fine with that. What is fundamentally different that we would be doing as a country, what would be new, what would be introducing new kind of really harmful behavior, is by things like, again, Destiny said this on my stream a few months ago when we had a conversation.
The barring all the Republicans,
yes.
right?
Any
Barring all the
Republican who's
Republicans.
supported
I agree, that's too far.
publicly to investigate them and put them through the ringer, right? And find something wrong.
Yeah, but I think
he went further. He said
I think the difference there.
That one I think is illiberal.
Yeah, that's a liberal thing.
Yeah,
we understand.
that one I do think is
I-
illiberal.
No, but I think there's a
that's
difference there.
Reconstruction Confederacy.
I have
No,
relevant discussions with this. So I went down to South
Is it
Carolina
okay
to
if I
the
ask Wick a
UFC thing.
question?
Okay, yeah.
So, Wick, is your concern with this primarily that it is bad optically in terms of bad messaging?
No.
Or is your concern that it is okay? Your concern is that it is a violation of norms and not recoverable.
Well, not just a violation of norms, but violation of liberal principles that if we indulge in it, will open up a box that, while MAGA is trying to open it, like here's a mistake that people make in this analogy, right?
Well,
because I hear
I
game
think
theory.
MAGA has
brought up
already
all the-
opened
Let me
that
finish
box.
and then I'll let you go. People bring up game theory all the time. The idea for tit for tat. If they're going to do it, we have to do it too. You got to tit for tat. The unfortunate mistake in that analysis is forgetting that there is a third party observing your actions that has the power to either put you in power or take away power from you. And that third
So that
party
would
in
be
this
optics, though,
situation
right?
is called the electorate. And we can see, because of MAGA trying to do all these things, like trying to indict the seditious six, as they called them, tried to go after Comey, tried to go after Letitia James, tried to go after all these people, they're paying a price, a heavy price for this electorally. They're going to be removed from power because this third party sees their tittin' and they don't like it. Now, if we behave in similar fashions, we are going to also be removed from power by the same third party who observes these things and does not like it when people engage in these behaviors. So this, again, this game theory analysis is fundamentally
like an
flawed.
optics argument, though.
Go ahead.
But there's a
But that
big
sounds
difference
like an
between what you're
optics
saying.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, there's a
There's a big
principle.
difference
I think
between
Wick is
what
making
you're
two
saying.
arguments. I think I agree with both. I think I agree with both on Wick's part. There's two arguments being made here. There's an optics and a principle argument. The principle argument is it goes against what we're fighting for. The optics argument is it also hurt us electorally. His point is there's no win here. I don't even think Wick is saying we shouldn't hold him accountable. He's just saying we should go through liberal processes to do that, not these specific political prosecutions intentionally looking for crimes.
If you know
Rather,
someone, or if you have
investigate,
reasonable,
find crimes, and
if
you
you
find
have
it.
what is it? Reasonable suspicion. There's a legal term for this. Probable cause. Yeah, if you have probable cause to believe that someone has engaged in illegal or illicit activities, by all means, investigate them. But what you're doing when you're asking them to go door to door to these Republicans to ask if they were supported Trump is the same thing that MAGA wants ICE to do, to go look for illegal immigrants, to violate people's Fourth Amendment rights, right? To go around. It's the same
But is that
principle.
what he's suggesting? Is that what he's
It is
suggesting though? Because
yes,
because
it
when
is
you
in
when you
kind
hold
what's being
absolutely
suggested.
what he is
okay, so but when you hold the difference between holding a trial and holding prosecution is that you are putting them on trial for crimes that you already know that they've done, right? So we already have a preconceived notion of what crimes they've committed, and they're going on trial to face those crimes.
You have
This
to have
isn't just an
hold on.
arbitrary.
In order to get to trial, you don't just get to trial by saying you committed a crime.
I understand
you
that.
You have to have
I understand that, but I don't.
cause to investigate, and then once the investigation's done, they recommend to the judge whether they be prosecuted or not. What you're doing is you're saying we don't need probable cause. We don't need to go through this process. We're just going to put them on trial, and that violates people's rights.
Frogmouth,
Right.
I have a question for you. You're familiar with the broad power of the president to be able to pardon people, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
so if the president were to pardon his entire administration, and then it was he would step down and then Vance would pardon Trump, would you still prosecute them for crimes that they legally can't be prosecuted for?
No, you would have to start charging with state crimes at that point.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that would be the solution, would be to charge them for state crimes. But if the state crimes weren't enough to like properly prosecute them, would you ignore the Constitution to try to prosecute them, or no?
Is pardoning in the Constitution?
Yes, it is. It is a power given to the president in the Constitution.
To the president.
It's very
Okay.
broad too.
Yeah, I know. That's what we learned when it was challenged, and Trump kind of won that. But it would have to.
Trump
then
did not win it. You understand that if the pardon power wasn't as it is, Trump would be prosecuting Hunter Biden right now. Trump would be prosecuting James.
Yeah, I understand.
All these people right now, and he would be able to do it there's a bunch of people who Biden pardoned. That Trump would absolutely
the
be
J6
going on.
committee.
They tried to get around the pardon power. Like they tried, but they were stopped by the institutions and things like that, because a lot of people like to point to the institutions failing, but the institutions succeed more than they fail in America.
Right. If the question is, do we follow the Constitution or do we go against it to prosecute people? We follow the Constitution every time. Like point blank, we do not go against the Constitution. So if he pardons people, and we just kind of go, darn it, guess we can't prosecute them on the federal level at least. So if they had committed, in that case, it would have to be definitive that they had committed state crimes. And then it would have to go from there. But at that point, it's a whole new ballgame. So like they kind of just get off scot-free. In my opinion, if we already have crimes that we know that they've committed and we're able to prosecute them for those crimes, then absolutely. It's not a witch hunt if we already know what they've done.
Okay, I have one more hypothetical for you. If you were to try to punish Donald Trump for his crimes, and then the Supreme Court said no, would you want to pack the Supreme Court to change its decision?
No. No, I don't think
the court
it's
isn't really against any constitutional thing, but I also think that I'm generally against it. If we want to Supreme Court reform, that's fine, but I don't know if I'm against them for packing the court. But I will say, Supreme Court kind of already has ruled that Trump has some level of immunity, so it's a weird hypothetical because it kind of already exists.
Yeah, I don't think court packing
At the end of the day,
that.
At the end of the day, we can say all these things about what we want, but we have to do it the proper way. And if we don't do it the proper way, we are no better than MAGA at the end of the day. That's just how it is.
True.
Also, Wick, I think I'm going to dip out.
Hey, so thanks for coming and being the drama translator for the day. I do appreciate it. We're not gonna go too much longer, but
yeah, I know way too much about this, unfortunately. But yeah, peace out, guys.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, this idea, like There are things that we can do to hold people who have broken the law accountable, and we should do them. No one is asking if you think someone actually broke the law, hold them to account. Absolutely.
True.
But this idea that of revenge politics is harmful not only on a moral level, but on a pragmatic level as well. It does not work in the long term.
True.
And people always do this. They point out, well, Trump won a couple times, but he's lost more than he has won. The Democrats win most of the election cycles in the Trump era. Most is not all. And here's a real kicker. Here's a real black pill for you guys. If you want a way of doing things that's going to give you 100% wins 100% of the time, you're not going to find it. Those don't exist. What we have to do is we have to find a principle to go by that works a consistent amount of the time. Consistent is not the same as constant. Anyway, that's my rant. It's over. Go ahead.
So yeah, I think I agree with you 100% on the pragmatic side. I think like the messaging on it is terrible. And I think like a much better message would be stuff like increasing the number of states. Because why is DC not a state? Why is Puerto Rico not a state? You know, that's an easy positive message. I think it would be a much bigger win long term also. But I think on the so I guess I come from a competitive tennis background. And in tennis, you have to call your own lines. And on tournaments, sometimes there are people that will cheat. And so it's just accepted in tournaments. If somebody misses a call on you deliberately, then you miss a call back. And that's tit for tat. But the problem with tit for tat is that even in that scenario, you are still behind. Because they got the point first. So that's why tit for tat fails a lot of the time. Because even though you are responding, even though you are retributing, it will never equal what was done first.
Right.
And
so
that's... Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was just going to reply by saying that we're already pretty much 5 steps behind because the Republicans ran their entire platform on nothing but lies, manipulation, propaganda. And in order to do a tit for tat for that, we would either have to start lying prolifically and start creating propaganda of our own, which is not something we want to do as Democrats. We want to run a platform of good faith. But we're already so far behind, so we're kind of put in an impossible situation where we're sitting here trying to fight against propaganda, lies, and just complete vitriol from the other side. Because we know that fear is a better motivator than anything. Like, we can sit here and give hope core all day, but fear overall is going to be the thing that motivates people to vote. And we don't have that. We can't sit here and say Trump bad over and over and over again, because we already know Trump is bad. We've established that. Saying that is not going to save the Democratic Party or Vance bad or whoever's going to be coming up.
Okay.
Like, I don't know where we go from here.
Okay. Well, gang, I'm going to let
you
you
guys go.
guys
Is it okay if
go.
I drop the new hypothetical real quick?
I got to let you guys go because I got to go soon, but I want to read
fair.
super chats. But thank you for being here. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks for your time.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate
Here's my cat. Bye.
Okay. Now that they're gone, kings and queens, it's just me and you, chat. Let me read some of these super chats. And thank you for the money, gang. I do appreciate it. And I want to give closing thoughts, if you will, on this whole thing. And kind of like recenter what I think we should be talking about when we talk about liberalism, liberal values, and how to respond to threats to liberalism, and what are the best methods of doing so. $5 from Lawson Harrison. Thank you for the $5. Litmus test and sanity check. Who performed the best in the IP debate? Finkelstein or Destiny? It's been a while since I've seen it. If I recall, Destiny won that debate, but it's been a while since I've seen it. Artemis Fowl for $5 says, it's really interesting watching the left tear itself apart again for like the 5th time. how exactly is the left going to be functional for elections? We're winning elections. So I mean, dysfunctional, functional. I mean, we're doing it. Audacity member, a tier 2 member for 17 months. Wow. I'm watching open debate about adults being incapable of solving basic social issues, and somehow lack of Dem campaign effectiveness is still a mystery. Like, you guys keep saying we're a lack of Dem campaign effectiveness. We win. Like, this is the I know it's a good canard, right? It's a good joke. But people have taken that joke as reality, and you're gonna run into a really hard wall soon when we win everything in November. Yeah. Look, this also goes to the kind of like the left on left thing. There is the far left and kind of like the more far extremist leftists. This is the narrative that they push all the time too. Like, the Democrats can't win. The Democrats always lose. The Democrats are just being destroyed every which way. And so we have to do it my way because otherwise we can't win. So you better give us the keys to the car so we can drive us to where we need to go. But we are winning. We are being successful. Again, consistent victory, not constant victory. If you can't take an L now and again, because you will, we live in a democracy, that's going to happen. But you have to realize that more often than not, if you have a strategy that works 3 out of 4 times, it's better than the strategy that works 1 out of 4 times. It just is. Okay, Robert Paulson for $10. Wick TV, bring in a bunch of people and then let chat vote someone off every 15 minutes. I'd let you kick people off for money. I should do that more often. $5 from Audacity. Someone deleted Ogre Boy's bookmarks. Is that a joke? I don't understand the reference. $5 from Odoshara. Give me the guardrails, quote unquote. Guys, it's a culture issue. If you feel comfortable in Pisco's chat to say horrible things, then the environment is bad. I don't know if it's necessarily bad. Again, it depends on the culture of the server, right? It depends on the culture of the community. Some communities are much more acidic than others, but that's not necessarily bad. We all need group chats where we talk shit, okay? We all need places where we can be a little acidic, okay? I don't think there's necessary. It's not wrong. It's not a moral question. You're not wrong for not liking that. If you don't like it, don't go. If you don't want to be in that community, don't be in it. If you feel like they're saying things that you don't like, close your eyes. Go elsewhere. Turn it off. Click here. You click leave Discord server. Okay? Boom. Problem solved. Easy peasy. I don't know. I just think it's lame when people are always be like, you need to moderate your community better. Okay. $20 from XKXKXKXKXKXKKKX. Thank you for thank you for allowing us to express ourselves. You're welcome. $2 from Zephyr Hash. When was the last time the callers touched grass? Well, callers. Well, I'm going to touch grass on Saturday, where I will be going to Washington, D.C., the Washington Mall, and streaming a protest that's happening there, the March for Democracy. I'm going to be talking to the individuals at the protest. I'm going to be talking to counter-protesters. I'm going to be just kind of getting a lay of the land of normies, people you normally don't see, get their opinions on things. Should be fun. It's different kind of content, and I hope you tune in. $5 from JRayN7. He didn't ask for Epstein's policy in the prior hypo. Why would he need it in the second? He just said if he has D next to his name, he'd vote for him. I'm assuming you talk about the Hutch thing? Maybe. $2 from J-Ray says, will you support Plattner? In the primary, no. In the general, yes. He is a bad choice, I think, to beat Collins, Senator Collins, I think is her name. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong. That's the super chats. That's what you gave me. I do appreciate it. Okay, what do we got coming up? What do we got coming up? Not a lot this week because, again, I'm going to the Saturday thing. That's the big thing. That's one you want to tune in for. Tomorrow, we're going to have a debate between the soy pill and We're Offended on socialized healthcare. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Anything else? No? Cool. Love you all. I'll see you tomorrow.